What's good, everyone? This is Justin Just Rock Ramon from the Just Trek podcast, where elevation is our recreation. Super excited for you to check out our next episode as it features an incredibly inspiring SoCal-based outdoor adventurer, solo backpacker, traveler, community builder, outdoor creator, and founder of Less Ventures, Melanie Daisy. We dive into Mel's outdoor roots, from boulder hopping in the Mojave Desert with her mom as a kid, to discovering trail maintenance in Laguna Canyon as a source of healing during a difficult divorce. That connection to the land sparked her solo backpacking journey and ultimately led to the creation of Less Ventures and Camp Let's Venture. Mel shares how solo backpacking became a love letter to herself, proving she could take care of herself in the wild. We also talk about cowgirl camping under the stars, living nomadically out of her car, and building a community where people of all ages come together to adventure, connect, and heal through nature. She opens up about embracing her Yaqui, Perpetua, and Viking heritage, earning the trail name Xena, her favorite trails across the country, summiting Mount Whitney in early June by breaking trail through the snow-covered 99 switchbacks, solo female backpacking safety, and her powerful experiences visiting the native nations across the U.S., including walking the Trail of Tears barefoot in Arkansas. Whether you're healing from something difficult, thinking about your first solo adventure, or simply need a reminder that the mountains are always calling, this conversation is filled with resilience, inspiration, and deep love for the outdoors and reverence of the land. In addition to this YouTube video version you are watching right now, we have an audio version available on Apple Podcasts and both a video and audio version available on Spotify. You can find those links in the description. All right, let's get the trekking and get into this episode. All right, y'all, we are back at it with another episode with another inspirational guest. We're out here in Palos Verdes, California, aka Palos Paradise, but what I like to refer to as Mini Big Sur. And right here next to me is Melanie Daisy.
Hello.
She's
She's
already into
Hi.
it. She's already into the whole pod. She is a SoCal-based outdoor adventurer, solo female backpacker and traveler, community builder, and is the founder and creator of Les Ventures.
Yes.
Did I pronounce that right?
I say Les Ventures. I made that name, so it's up to interpretation.
Okay,
I
Les
did.
Ventures, but English translation, Let's Venture.
Yes.
And very excited to say, welcome to the Just Right podcast, Mel.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to have you on, as you're someone that I recently met on an Intro to Birding community event over in San Fernando Valley. It was the Sepulveda Basin Wildlife Reserve.
Yes.
And it's kind of perfect that we're recording today because we're also coming off a really high backpacking high. You hosted I believe it was an intermediate level backpacking trip in Sequoia National Forest.
Yeah, Sequoia Kings Canyon. It was a 4-day, 3 nights out there. And yeah, I host that one twice a year basically, but it is intermediate, so yeah. So
Right on.
excited to be back.
So you just hosted that, and then I wrapped up completing my Highlander Adventure 3-day backpacking challenge over in Big Bear Lake.
Yeah.
And you know, like with these multi-day adventures, it always takes a few days to just decompress and come back to reality. So I just got to ask you before we start everything off, like, how are you just feeling coming off of your recent backpacking trip? And is there anything from that particular trip or the weekend that's still sticking with you or just resonating with you?
No, it was pure magic, and it's funny because, yeah, I feel like a lot of people need time to recuperate, but for me, I always feel super inspired, and so I immediately back in the mountains. I went on a little hike the other day, and then I'm gonna have a little scramble tomorrow, so I'm just like excited to be back out there. I always learn a lot though. I've already made some adjustments, some tweaks to my future trip, some small changes to my website and just how things flow so that the experience always gets better and better and better. But it just makes me feel more in love with the land, and I'm just like, I gotta be back out there. So I'm always just like, go. So that's me, yeah. But yeah, it's, I'm sure you know, like you learn a lot, and I'm just grateful that I have the opportunity to be able to not only take people out to get their fill in nature and adventure, but honestly, helping people outdoors is a gift to me too. So I'm always just grateful. Always, yeah.
I also saw on this backpacking trip you hosted, this alpine lake retreat,
Mm-hmm.
the wildflowers were popping. I saw some cold plunging in the lakes.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the trail that I take people through, I'm very familiar with it. I don't really tell people like what trails it is, just because, you know, I don't want to be the source of trash and whatnot, of which I've been seeing a lot recently. So I have been on the, you know, quiet side of where I take people, but this trail is perfect during this time of year, right before it gets too hot and buggy, because there's no bugs either. So it's just popping off with wildflowers, no bugs. The lake is semi-warming up, so it's not like too freezing.
Okay.
So it was absolutely perfect. We were just having our Hobbit girl summer, adventuring, and just like having a blast, just being kids and just connecting with our just most adventurous side. Like, I bring that out of anyone, and you know, it's everyone from 20 to 65, anyone between those ages I take out. And
Wow, that's a nice range. It's a very large gap.
it is. I actually started my backpacking when I started. It was with people who were 55 and up, really. So I have a lot of that side to me, and people that I still want to connect with. But then I also have like a lot of younger people too. So I feel like I'm the glue in merging, you know, all adventurers of all ages. I always encourage, like, no one's too young, and under 18 is too young.
Sure,
Okay,
sure,
all right,
yeah.
all right, that's too
Disclaimer.
young. Yeah, you got to be over 18 to play with me. But yeah, anyone between 19 to like 65. Yeah, some to 73 as well. 73.
I love it when I see in people's group trips, group treks, or backpacking trips, like if there's like older people and younger people, because I feel like we're all equal out there.
Yeah.
And what I love about seeing the older people or hiking with them, we envision ourselves in them.
Yeah.
We're like, wow, we can keep doing this till their age, till we're 60, 70, 80, or even longer. Like, there's so many elder people, older people crushing it out on the trails, lapping the younger folks. I think it's really funny when that happens.
Yep. So I get to experience a lot of amazing adventures of all ages. And yeah, this group, we had, I would probably be the youngest. I'm generally around the youngest. So we have anyone between 30, and then I think our oldest person, not to say that they're old, but like around 58, 60. Yeah. So it was really fun. But you know what? We all played like little kids. So it was so fun.
Yeah, I had a really big smile when I saw you all jump into the alpine lakes, because as you know, that area, that region is, what are you really doing if you don't jump into an alpine lake? You need to really feel the shock and feel alive. Like, I know it can feel very intense for people who are not used to that kind of cold because it's glacier melt. But after like a few dips in, or you go back in, you get used to it a little bit, and you're like, wow, this is life.
Yeah. No, it was fantastic, and every single person went in at least once, so that's a win for me. Yeah.
It's a requirement if you join your backpacking expeditions. If you don't, you're kicked out. You're not allowed in the next one.
Yeah, just be open to play, open to adventure. Yeah.
And then, as I mentioned earlier too, we first met at a very particular event, an Intro to Birding event hosted by our good friends, Outdoor Adventures Plus, Nature's Palette, LA Trail Killers.
Yeah.
Like, what was that experience like, bringing your mom to that birding event, meeting me, and meeting a lot of the other members of the SoCal hiking outdoor community?
Okay, so it was amazing. So first, I had just gotten back from my 3-month solo travel backpacking throughout the US.
Oh, that's right. You did mention that.
So I literally just got back, and my mom has always wanted to do birding, and I wanted to have a fun connection with her. And she's always been someone who loves community events, and I'm someone who puts on community events. So I was just scrolling Instagram and I saw it, and I said, let me sign up. You know, it would be nice to actually partake in one of these community events as someone like participating, right? Instead of hosting it, because I'm always hosting. So I kind of didn't know what to expect, but it was just a wonderful experience. It felt very well organized. Everyone was like encouraging. It was very educational, and I just felt like it was the perfect way to connect with my mom in a way where she could connect with others too, right? Because even our parents, they're still living life for the first time. So I just love seeing my mom just like adventuring and just like, oh, what is that? Let me look, you know, and talking to other people, making friends. And I'm just like over here like, wow, my mom's amazing. So it was just the perfect mother-daughter event, and I'm just so grateful for, you know, everyone who put it on, because I had so much fun. And then I made so many other connections. You, LA Trail Killers, you know, Outdoor Palette. It was just like Nature's Palette.
I was like, I like that.
Nature's
You just
Palette.
fuse the two names.
Yeah, there we go. And it actually was inspiring for me as someone who puts on community events, to kind of realize that I can push myself a little bit more when it comes to like how I organize, how often I organize. And it's funny because some of the people there who were doing the birding event, they were like, hey, are you that girl that does those backpacking? I was like, why, yes, I am. Yes. So someone signed up for my backpacking trip in August from there because she met me and she's like, I love your content. I want, like, when's the next one? And I was like, you know what? Let me put on another one. So, and she signed up and she's coming. So I'm really excited. That event provided a lot of opportunity and inspiration for me. So it was wonderful.
I love to hear that for you. It's when you put yourself out there, and then you went with your mom, like what a special bonding event.
Yes.
I remember a very particular moment, which is actually how I met you during the walk, the birding community event. You were with your mom, and you were both staring at something. I thought it was a bird, but you were pointing at the elderberries. And you both were talking about like, oh, can I eat this one? And there was this conversation that I kind of jumped into because I was getting more familiar with like the flora and the fauna of the land to feel more connected. And your mom was like, oh no, that one's not ripe enough yet. It needs to be like a deep, dark blue to be able to eat it, because the elderberries are still kind of like light blue.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. No, I love my mother so much. She has extensive knowledge with indigenous native plants, especially to California. She educates me all the time about them, but sometimes it just doesn't stick in my brain. So she's over and over and over, she's telling me, and I'm like, which ones can I eat? You know, so that's fun because she gets to practice her knowledge and spread the education, even if it's like over and over with me because I can't ever remember. But yeah, she's very passionate about it, and I just love seeing her be able to, you know, just be her amazing, authentic self with everyone.
You know, it's funny. I think it's hard to stick because as a parent, you hear their voices ever since you're young. So, okay, mom, okay. So it's much harder for it to internalize fully because you're also like, okay, I've been hearing this voice my whole life.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm literally just a kid. Like, that's what I always think of myself. But she has basically a home apothecary.
Oh,
so
wow.
I always ask her, I need help with this, I need help with that. And she's like, here, you know. So I low-key feel like maybe I don't let those things stick with me because I know she's always going to be there and take care of me. Give me whatever herbs and medicine I need.
You're spoiled.
I am spoiled. I am. I know that.
All right, Mel. So before we get into all your recent adventures and work with Less Ventures, I do want to learn more about you and your outdoor journey and just dig deeper into that. So I want you to take us back.
Ooh.
What was your first hiking memory?
This is the funniest. Oh my gosh, okay.
Ooh, talk to me.
Okay, so my first hiking memory is I was maybe 8 or so, something, maybe even younger, 6, 7, 8, something around there. My mom, she's always been huge with spending time with the land, huge on just being outdoors. She's always been a hiker, but not in the sense of most people like, oh, let's do this trail and what's the mileage and elevation gain? Like, she's like, I know a spot, or I want to go to a spot. And so we go there and we just kind of explore. And, you know, as kids, you don't know what's in front of you. You don't know how to appreciate it. So a lot of the times she would take us places and she just wander and we're just like, what are we doing? Like, can we go home, you know? So she took us to the Mojave Desert and it was just us. So I have an older brother and I have a twin sister.
Oh, you have a twin sister?
I do.
Also a hiker or into other activities?
We're all outdoorsy, yeah.
Damn, okay.
So, and it was just my older brother, my twin sister, and my mom. You know, my dad was working, I believe. And we're just out in the Mojave Desert, boulder hopping, you know, normal kid stuff.
For sure.
So we hiked about maybe a mile or two. We're boulder hopping, playing around. My mom is probably spending time with the land, quite literally. So we're just like playing around with each other. And there was a time where my brother, he fell. Well, he says he jumped off the boulder,
Oh,
right?
no.
But I say he fell off the boulder into a jumping cactus.
No!
And when he pops up, he's like, Mom! And there's like cactus all over his hand. And my mom's like, what's going on? And, you know, of course we don't have pliers. Of course we don't have tweezers or whatever. So my mom looks at me and I'm like, no, I already know what's coming. She gives me the car keys. I run. I run to the car, get the tweezers, get the emergency supplies, and I run back. And I'm very young. I'm like only 8 or something, and I'm running a mile to the car and running a mile back.
Search and rescue mission.
It was a rescue mission for my brother. So that is my first memory of being outdoors, like truly outdoors, where I was just like, oh, okay, so this is really like nature. You know, it's not like, oh, we're walking and the car is gonna be there. Like that is my first memory, and that's how my mom gave us our experience in the outdoors. It's just very rugged, very wild, very just, you go. Yeah.
What a first memory. You're out boulder hopping, being literally a kid.
Yeah.
And then that incident happened with the cactus.
Yeah.
Was it a cholla cactus?
It was a
Lord.
cholla. Yeah.
Those are rough.
Yep. And that was hilarious. He didn't cry or anything. He was just like, help. Yeah, so that's pretty much sums up what I've been doing since, you know.
Falling into cactuses ever since.
Yeah, getting into travel. Yeah.
And at what point would you say that hiking and getting outdoors, just spending more extensive time in nature, just went from something you simply enjoyed or just something that you were tagging along with your family to something that you like absolutely needed in your life? Maybe there were some particular life events that was the catalyst for that as well too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I've always appreciated nature, but in the sense of like, oh, my mom is like that. We love to hike here and there, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't until I went through a really horrible divorce, very abusive, when I was trying to get out of that relationship, I actually, used trail maintenance, volunteering to do trail maintenance in Laguna Canyon every weekend, like as much as I could, as an excuse, right, to like leave the house. And, what are you going to say? Oh, no, you can't do trail maintenance, right? So I actually used trail maintenance as a way to like escape mentally, and physically, and just like pounding the earth and tending to the land. In those months, I just made such a huge connection. Like I was taking care of this land that was also quite literally taking care of me, healing me, and providing that escape. So I started to develop a genuine relationship. When I talk about the land and wanting to be with it, to me, it's almost like a marriage. It's like a genuine relationship. So that is when I first started forming a true, genuine relationship and a deep love to the land, is when I was getting out of that relationship. So that was the catalyst of who I am today.
Wow, how symbolic. You taking care of the land, trail maintenance, volunteer work, and in return, it takes care of you, builds you back up, builds up that self-love.
Yeah.
I've done a handful of trail maintenance work, and how you describe it, the fixing the eroded trail or whatever that trail maintenance entails. Maybe it's pulling out the invasive species, but I could see how like where you have to fix the eroded trail, where you're slamming it, putting the dirt in, you have to expend so much energy. So it's very cathartic, especially if you're going through something such as, you said, a divorce, something really intense emotionally. So it's like, you got to expend your energy somewhere, especially something intense. And the fact that it was trail maintenance specifically, I don't think I've heard that on the pod, like when people are coming into their healing journey, if they're coming from like either grief of something or a divorce or whatever life event was thrown at them. I think that's really unique and special that you built that genuine connection with the land through, you said you're doing trail maintenance work in Laguna Canyon?
Yeah, so we would fix the water erosion and tamping, and we would do invasive species removal. A lot of mountain biking happens over there too. So just the erosion from the bikes and the tires. So that's what we would do. And camping was my favorite because just the pounding, it was just like, it was surreal.
I haven't explored too much of even the Orange County like trails or wilderness. Like I've done a few, but I know it's its own scene, especially the coastal hikes.
Yeah.
And what's the local forest there? Is it the Cleveland or the Santa Ana Mountains?
It's both, but I spent a lot of time in Laguna Canyon and Crystal Cove area. But yeah, they've got so many trails out there, and I would say it's so different than LA County. OC County trails is so different than LA County trails, but they both have their own unique, sides to it. And I just really appreciated the opportunity to spend as much time in nature as possible. Yeah, they would drive us out there, so we would still have to hike with our tools in to do trail maintenance, but we got a good start with a drive, so that was always really nice to be like deep in there.
Yeah, no, for sure. I still thinking about how trail maintenance really healed you. Like what aspect about like being out there and obviously taking care of the land allowed you to like heal? Like was there particular parts about it that let you like build your self-love back up or really like quote unquote numb the pain of what you were going through?
Well, I would say, and it's kind of the part of the reason why I wild camp, cowgirl camp now too, it's having the mountains, having the land like literally hold you in times of your life where you're the most vulnerable. Like it literally, like just to lay on the land and the dirt feels good. And then to be able to care for it, it's so, when you provide care and love to someone or something, it is so healing. And that's why I take people out and help them. I care for people outdoors because it's healing to me. So just having the mountains hold me when I need them to, and then being able to give back to them, that is the relationship, the reciprocal energy that is just flowing between us. And so if because I'm escaping from a household that's really dangerous and unsafe, and the mountains are, come here, let me hold you, let me take care of you. Okay, you look at your surroundings, the wind is blowing, you're starting to focus on what you see and what you hear, and you're not thinking about what's being said, what's being done. And not only that, it's this calmness and this peace that just comes over you, and then you're like, wait a second, where am I? And you see the sign and you're like, oh, let me hear, sweetie, like you need some help, like let me fix you up. And then in return she fixes you up, but also she builds my confidence back in who I am as a person, because I'm doing some fucking hard work.
You're in the dirt.
I'm a hard work, like and so I'm like, like I'm doing like hard stuff that someone's telling me I'm not capable of doing, but yet here I am. Yeah, so I can't say there's one aspect of how the land heals, but it's just everything. It takes you out of your day-to-day, it takes you out of your anxieties, and it just shows you what you're capable of, and it shows you how much love you have to give. Yeah.
In the beginning of every podcast episode, I say the mountains are calling, let's escape the noise. I feel like that's what you're referring to. The noise of everyday life, the city life, the rat race of life. Thank you for sharing that and being vulnerable. I'm always curious to dig into, because a big theme of this podcast that I've gotten from a lot of the guests is how hiking is healing, nature is therapy. But I want to learn more about, okay, how is it healing though? Why is it therapeutic?
Yeah.
So thank you for unpacking that a bit more for the listeners in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And less ventures, less ventures. I was like,
it's whatever you want. I will say, Justin, to make you feel better, I remember making this name, and it's like, never let them know your next move. So it's done on purpose, the ambiguous aspect of the name, because it could literally mean, people think they see it and they're like, they have their own interpretation of it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, because I was like, she's Latina, maybe it's less ventures, so add the little
Yes.
accent, but keep it simple, less ventures.
Less ventures. Yeah. It's just whatever you want.
But before we get into that, I forgot to ask you, where are you originally from and where are you currently at?
So I'm from Long Beach.
Okay, LBC.
LBC.
213.
Yes, I love Long Beach. And currently I'm on the road. My address, my car, okay? But while I'm here for the cutesy summer, I told my parents I'm gonna have a cutesy summer and visit everyone, and like, it's been going amazing. I've been meeting amazing people. I'm just like, this is here, like
For
the
sure.
community, yeah. But I'm from Long Beach, but I'm on the go, nomadic lifestyle.
Because when I met you, you were like, yeah, I just got back from my solo backpacking journey
Yeah.
across the U.S. And I was like, I have so many questions for you.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be SoCal based. I've made a decision on
Okay.
where my future holds. It's SoCal.
We have so much in SoCal. And if you get tired of it, which is impossible, you got the Eastern Sierras, you got the far reaches of Northern California,
Yeah.
Nevada, you can go
Exactly.
to Mexico. Like
Oh,
there's
yeah,
so many other places.
I'm gonna be spending basically the whole month in Sequoia. Yeah, I'm just
Incredible.
out there. Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, I want to explore more of Sequoia National Forest and Sequoia National Park. So hopefully this summer. I definitely want to spend more time in the Eastern Sierras this summer. As most SoCal outdoorsy people do.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
But to go now into your work with less ventures, less ventures, or however
Whatever
whoever
you want,
wants to say it.
Whatever you want.
What exactly is it for people not familiar, and what inspired you to create it?
So Les Ventures is a part of. So let's start with why I created Les Ventures.
Yeah, what's that origin story?
It has to do with my divorce. When I realized that I attempted to leave many times. Like the statistics say, like I think it takes about like 6-7 times for someone to leave an abusive relationship. And I'm a very strong person, very emotionally. My parents, instilled this boldness and this independence in me. Yet, when you're in those situations, things happen, and it is what it is. But eventually, I got out, and like I was saying, the trail maintenance. So I knew there was a connection to the land, and immediately I was like, I need to go backpacking. Like I'd never been backpacking before. I had been camping, but the camping that I did was more like car camping style. Never really did tent camping. So I just kind of threw myself in the backpacking world, and it was really hard. It was really tough. It was not pretty. It wasn't cutesy,
Yeah.
But there was this like thrill, this like sensation that came over me, and I was like, oh, I need to do this all the time. So I first started off with groups, but then I realized, not everyone is here for the same reason, and I'm in a very vulnerable state, so I probably just want to cry all the time when I'm out there. I don't want to and I also don't drink, I don't do these things. So I was like, I need to do this by myself. I just need to do this by myself. But I was terrified. I'm a girl, and then barely starting to backpack, let alone think about doing it solo. It was just like terrifying, but I knew it was something I had to do, something that I needed in my life. And I knew that the longer I avoided it, the worse things would be for me internally. So I kind of just threw myself at it. I didn't have the right gear. I didn't have the knowledge. People ask me lots of questions like I'm an expert, and I'm still learning.
Yeah.
Even though it's been 3 years of solo adventures, I'm still learning every day.
And real quick, you threw yourself at backpacking, but was there like an initial spark of that? Was it like a piece of content? Was a friend of yours a backpacker? Like, because there's so many parts of outdoor recreation. You could have
Right.
thrown yourself at peak bagging, kayaking,
True.
surfing. Like, do you even know or can pinpoint like why it was backpacking in particular?
I'm trying to think back.
If it comes back to you, I'm just curious to know.
It was just something that literally it was just like, I need to sleep outside. Like I need to live outside. Like I just wanted to be outside all the time. So I guess so. I just wanted to be outside all the time. And how can I do that? yeah, I can go camping, but I don't like noise. I don't like cars, like the traditional campsite. So I was like, I gotta walk to where I want to get. So that's why I started solo backpacking. And yeah, I just threw myself out there. It was so scary, I'm not gonna lie. But eventually I realized that I can take care of myself. And so then that became addicting, right? So I think at first, solo backpacking became a love story, a love poem to myself. I could take care of myself. I'm proving everyone to that person, right? I'm proving to my ex that I can take care of myself. I can love myself. I don't need someone to like care for me, provide for me, because I'm doing it myself in the most wild way. And then I just started recording myself because I was just like, well, I kind of want to remember moments, so I would record things, and I'm naturally very talkative. I think it's because I'm a twin, because I'm always used to someone just right here. So I'd be like filming and I'd be like, wow, look at all these rocks, and you know, and I'm just like getting water, and I'm like, wow, this is such an art form. It's a lost art, you know, the art of sustaining oneself. It's just so beautiful. There's nothing more beautiful than keeping yourself alive. And then I fell in love with that because it just proved to me that I can do anything in the world. So that's how Les Ventures started. And I wanted to share that love with others because then I started posting my videos, and people were like, wait, are you by yourself? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, are you crazy? And I was like, a little bit,
I'm independent, y'all. I don't need no man to do this.
Yeah. But, you know, with exposing myself and putting myself out there, a lot of women were like, how do you do this? I want to do this. And so I saw a pattern start to form, even men too. Like, how do you do this? And girls asked me, can you take me? Can you take me? And I was like, boo, I don't really know. But the more trips I got under my belt, and the more I realized that this connection to the earth, to the land, to nature was needed, it was in high demand too. I would get comments and DMs all the time. That's why I started Les Ventures. So I started taking people out, or I started trying to think about how to take people out. That was like my inspiration. So that's how Les Ventures started. And then I started organizing on many different platforms. I tried Meetup, I tried Instagram, I tried Facebook, I tried WhatsApp, but I ended up settling on creating Camp Let's Venture, like Let's Venture, because I was like, let's venture, you know? So now I have Camp Let's Venture, and I take people out, and it's super, it was a process, as you know, it's a process to take, like, when you're first trying to like help the community out, but now it's like I'm at a really good place right now, a really confident place. Like, it just came back from I don't even know which trip this was, but this was my second time taking people to Sequoia.
Okay, right on.
And I'll be doing it again, probably in the fall. I did it last fall too. So we'll see. It's kind of still in development, but yeah, it's just this camp where people get to come out with me and we get to play. We get to feel empowered in ourselves as, you know, women, as men, as humans, you know, we're empowered. We can take care of ourselves, but we're going to play. We're going to play, and we're going to have so much fun, because that is the most healing thing that you can do, is just like play in nature. Like how far I've come now, the continuing cycle of healing for me is just play.
So I want to get a timeline of this so that I understand more, and also the listeners. When did you start doing those initial backpacking trips? Like what year, what month, and then around what time did you start the actual Let's Ventures?
So it was 2024.
Okay.
In May, I took my first all women. That was my first group hike was men and women to Mount Islip. We did a summit hike, and I met amazing people.
Is that where Santos Cali Tanker was?
Yes, it was.
That's a mutual friend of ours.
Yes.
Shout out Santos. I just hiked 33 miles with him.
I love it.
The big
and you
bear.
know what, Justin, is hilarious, because Santos, I asked him if he wanted to come to Sequoia. He's like, I want to go to Sequoia, and I gave him the dates. He's like, dang, I'm gonna be with Justin. And I was like, you stole him from me.
I stole it from you. We were rooming together too. We even stayed at the same hotel.
Yeah.
Before the event and after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I met Santos. And so that's where the community started to build and grow. And he was very inspiring. Like, he told me, Mel, you're so inspiring. And he was like sharing his story with me. And I was like, wow, but he provided so much inspiration for me. So it's reciprocal. Everything I do, I always get in return as much as I give. So we did the group hike at Mount Islip. That was like end of 2023 or like early 2024. And then my first backpacking trip was all women's, a sisterhood retreat, May 2024.
Oh, wow.
And that was beautiful too.
Where was that at?
That was at Valley Forge Campground.
Where's that at? I'm not even familiar.
Red Box. It's
in
near the
Angeles National Forest?
Yes, Angeles National Forest, San Gabrielino Trail. Yeah, there's a water source, not too hard. So I was like, let's do this. So yeah, that was 2024. Now 2026. So yeah, and I've got big plans and I'm excited. Yeah, so been doing it since 2024. 2024 was super chaotic though in organizing it. 2025 it started to get a little bit better, you know, and now I feel very like let's fucking go. Like let's fucking go. Like I got this. Yeah. So I'm starting to feel really confident with it.
You're in your third year, it sounds like.
Yes.
I feel like when platforms or groups enter their third year, there's just this special energy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of momentum behind
Yes.
it. And how would you describe like Less Ventures? Would you describe it more as like a backpacking group or just a platform that offers different types of experiences? I know you mentioned like some of the things that you do offer. We can definitely get into that right now. Like, what experiences does Less Ventures offer currently?
So mainly it's a backpacking, you know, group, like, because out of everything, out of a hiker, and I'm getting into mountaineering, backpacking, and also group travel, like to traveling the U.S., right? I'm also going to start providing trips throughout the U.S. as well.
Wow.
Yeah, but at its core, it's a backpacking group. Because that's how I started, and that's my first love, and I will always view myself as a backpacker through and through. I'm a freaking cowgirl, okay? So my ass is always sleeping on the dirt, you know. That's just how I am. That's who I am. You know what, Justin? I don't even sleep in my bed anymore. I'm at home, and I'm like,
you're in your backyard, and your mom's like, "Where are you?"
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not
if
in
you're
my
with your
bed.
parents, I don't know. Maybe you're on your own, but
yeah, I know. I sleep on a camp cot on the floor. Yeah, because I haven't gotten to the point where I can get back in a bed yet. So I am through and through a cowgirl backpacker. But I'm hosting a little hobbit hiking party for my birthday very soon next month, and then I'm going to start hosting group trips. But I'm still always going to be hosting backpacking trips. Yeah.
Got to stay true to the roots.
Yeah.
You got to stay true to the roots.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what that's the core of Camp Let's Venture. Yeah.
I think this third year for you is going to be extra special, extra memorable. It looks like it already has been shaping up to be that way.
Oh yeah, we have fun. We have fun. People are like lining up trying to get into these group trips, but I keep them intimate, you know, not too big.
And who would you say Let's Ventures, these experiences, who would you say it's like designed for? Do you have a particular person in mind?
So on my website, when I was building it, it was for the person who wants to take a chance on themselves, who knows that there's something out there for them, and you just need that little push to really become your true authentic self. So it's people who are seeking that, but it's also people who are seeking play, because everyone's healing journey looks different, and I've learned that we're always learning, we're always growing. It's never always going to be such a struggle bus, and I need inspiration, and I need to learn to be brave. Some of us are already brave, but we're still healing, we're still learning, and some of us heal with play, and that's what I've learned.
100%.
That
yeah.
I need to just be playing all the time. And the more I play, the more I'm outside, the more I'm literally rolling in the dirt, the better my life is getting. So it's for the people who are at their most vulnerable. It's for the people who are at their most bold. And it's for people who just need to remind themselves that they're a kid. you know. So it's for everyone, and like I said, any age over 18, okay? Any age. So we all, like you said, become equal out there. So that's who it's for.
And also just getting to learn more about you and your origin story. It also sounds like it's designed for people who are ready to finally choose themselves.
Yes, yes.
And not everyone else, and put everyone else
Oh,
in front
yeah.
of them.
Oh yeah, and I say this was something I used to tell people and tell myself over and over and over, because I needed to hear all this all the time. No one is coming to save you. Literally nobody is coming to save you. You have to pick yourself up. You have to choose yourself. The more you wait for people, you're probably just gonna be waiting your whole life. So at the core of Camp Let's Venture, at the core of Let's Ventures, it's for people who want to start their solo travel, right? As we're doing it as a group, right? But people are coming individually on their own. So at the core, they know that they want to start doing their solo adventures, and maybe they just need a little push, a little help to get there. So that's truly who all these trips are catered to. People who want to start their solo travels and who are choosing themselves. Because yeah, nobody's coming to get you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Nobody.
Yeah, a lot of times you really have to hit that rock bottom, pick yourself out of the mud.
Yeah.
I know, play in the dirt, but pick yourself out of the mud.
Yeah.
And really choose yourself again, because you're right. At the end of the day, so many people can try to reach out, but you got to make that conscious decision in your mind, like, I'm sick and tired of this. I need to do something for myself.
Yeah.
And literally force yourself out there, or do something. I always feel like, especially, movement is the medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, yep, that's how I started. No one's coming to save you, and I'm like, damn it. Oh, no, I have to go do it. Yeah, you do. You got to do it, even if you're crying. You got to do it. Yeah.
And you said you had a website. Want to shout that out so people can find out more about your trips, about who you are and your mission and all that?
Yeah, so it's funny because we were saying like there's a million names, right? But it's lesventures.net. So LESVENTURES.net, because .com was taken.
Hey, mine's justtrek.net because of the same exact thing.
.net, a.
We're
okay.
different. We're different.
We're different.
And how'd you come up with that name?
Les Ventures?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, a lot of things were taken. And so I was just like, I really wanted to do Let's Ventures, you know, like, but then I was trying to play around with it, and I was like, at the end of the day, I'm just gonna choose Les Ventures, because it could be like Les Ventures, like let's go, Les Ventures. It could be someone thinking like you were saying, the pronunciation is different, accent, it just, whatever people want at the end. Like, to me, I'm goofy, you know, so I'm like, whatever your interpretation is, but how I say it is like Les Venture, okay? So that's how it ended up being. Yeah.
Have you ever heard anyone say it the way I pronounced it, though?
No, and so I love it.
That's hilarious.
I love it. And a lot of people think my name is Leslie, too. Like
that makes sense.
Like Les Ventures, or, you know, so it's fun. And for a long time, I didn't even put my name on there. People, I literally let people think my name was Leslie. Yeah.
Yeah, because I should have asked you, like, what's the proper pronunciation, but when I was reading it, and I was like, okay, she's Latina, it probably has to be pronounced this way, and I was actually I'm quote unquote wrong, even though you said I'm weird. Up to interpretation.
Yeah, no, but it's funny. It's fun. I love to hear people's pronunciation. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing more of your origin story with you getting into backpacking, how that transitioned into you creating a very impactful platform. It's always about the origin stories on this pod that I feel like are very moving, especially because we all see the pretty photos, the epic adventures of the people that we are following or that we admire, but how did they get there?
Yeah.
What led them to this adventurous outdoor lifestyle?
Yeah. No, so thank you for asking, because I never even had the opportunity, besides my like about me on my website, I never really had the opportunity to tell it. But yeah, it's a very dynamic story, so it was fun. It was fun.
Thank you for sharing with us. That's why this pod is here, to get into the origin story. I always feel like this pod is like, it's like a movie with many different chapters. You know, you have many different chapters of your outdoor era and before it.
Yes.
So it's always awesome to dig into that. Yes. So always on this show, we love for the listeners to explore new places that our guests have done. And you've been to so many places now the past several years. Yeah. So I'm curious to know, what would you say are your top 3 trails in the United States at this current moment? And why is each your favorite?
The United States. Okay.
And then,
Okay.
we'll bring it back to the hometown SoCal. I'm also curious to know your local favorite trails, but let's start broad because
Yeah.
I know you did a solo backpacking journey, so you got to experience all kinds of routes and trails out there.
Yes. So my top state. Okay, so I'll say my top state and then I'll tell you my top trail there.
Okay.
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah, and nobody thinks Arkansas, and the people who maybe know Arkansas, they're like, oh yeah, there's Hot Springs National Park.
Is this the Midwest or South? See, I'm like even my geography is
South.
all over the place.
It's
Okay,
the South.
it's the South.
So it's Arkansas is next to Texas, under Oklahoma, right next to Tennessee. So Arkansas is my absolute favorite state, and I'm actually going to go back there this fall to experience it in the fall. But my favorite area in Arkansas is Jasper. They have it's part of the Ozarks out there, but
Oh, the Ozarks are in Arkansas.
the Ozarks run through Missouri and Arkansas.
I've watched I think it's a show on Netflix or is it Hulu?
So I've never seen it, but I know that there's
It's a crazy show. It's like Narcos, but out in the boonies.
I don't like scary stuff, so I don't watch that. I'm just a girl, you know. But yeah, Arkansas is my favorite. The Jasper area is just beautiful. You've got the Buffalo National River, and there's this trail that is considered the hardest trail in Arkansas. I'm a little jaded on what's hard, right? So when I went out there to do it, I was like getting ready. I was like, oh, it's like search and rescue comes out here all the time. And so I was like, all right, let's go. Let's go.
Let's attack the trail.
Let's fucking go. And I am on the trail. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Yeah, you got to go up, back up, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But it's called I'm gonna butcher this.
Just try your best.
Billy Goat Bluff Trail or something. Goat Bluff Trail.
What a dope name. Billy Goat Bluff Trail?
Because there's a section, it overlooks Buffalo National River, and I probably said that wrong, but it's like Goat Bluff Trail, one of those. But there's a section right at the end of, like towards the end of the hike, where it's like a drop off. So you're kind of like walking like a billy goat. And then you see this overlook, and it's just insane. Wow. It's just insane. You would not think that Arkansas is this stunning, gorgeous queen. You know, she is stunning, gorgeous queen. Coined the natural state. Yeah, for a reason.
Okay, Billy Goat Trail for the record.
Yeah.
What's a second and third for you then?
So I think the second trail that I truly fell in love with, just because of what it showed me I was capable of, would be in Colorado, the Red Deer Alpine Lake Trail. And I attempted this trail when it was still winter technically. Not a whole lot of people had done it. I was pretty much the only one the entire time on that trail. But it was just like trudging through the snow, post-holing. That's where I learned what post-holing was.
And what is post-holing for the people who may not be familiar?
It is the worst possible thing you can put your body through. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So you're walking, you're snow hiking with your micro spikes and just your trekking poles. Every step you take, you just fall in, okay? And you start getting rashes, it just gets cold. It's just like, I don't wanna do this. It can be dangerous too. But yeah, I just kept going, and I made it to seeing my first ever frozen alpine lake. And it just was like, I was like, wow, this is life. I'm out here. And I got myself there. So that was it was stunning, gorgeous. The colors on that frozen alpine lake were like turquoise green, sea green, blue, sparkly, bedazzled.
Oh, it was all mixed.
Yeah, it was just like so many different colors, and it was just so beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would have been my second one. My third favorite trail, it has to be Death Valley. It has to be Death Valley. It has to be, would you consider this a trail? I don't know. But Zabrisky's Point?
Yeah, Zabriskie Point.
I love that trail. It's just, I don't know, it's just fun. It looks like a bunch of cows. Yeah, it's just like, this is real, and it is.
So are you talking about like just the small walk to Zabriskie Point or the canyons that it overlooks?
Yeah, so you can go down in there and like zigzag around, and you're just like, where am I? It's just, you feel like you're somewhere else, you know? So I love Death Valley. It's one of my top national parks. So yeah, and that trail is the reason why it's one of my top, because it's just so kooky, weird, like me. Yeah.
Death Valley National Park is one of the most epic national parks in the entire
Stunning.
country. It's actually the largest one
Oh, really?
in the country.
I didn't know that.
And to your point, it's really dope that you brought up Zabriskie Point. I've been there for, I don't remember, it was sunrise, sunset. And you're talking about the trail that's overlooking it. I think it's like Golden Canyon to like Red Cathedral, something along there. And it's like these mini ridges, but you can also go down
Yeah.
into the canyon. And I believe they filmed some scenes from Star Wars there where like the speed racers fly in and out.
Yeah, that would make sense to me because it's just very outer worldly. You know, Utah, and yeah, there's so much out there, but like Death Valley is its own little world.
Oh, yeah.
It's to me, it's a very underrated national park. Like, to me, it's like top 3. And I've been to, after traveling US, I've been to a lot in Death Valley. Stunning.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah.
Death Valley deserves all the accolades. One of my favorite trails or peaks of all time, I'll throw you a gem, and I've mentioned it a few times on this pod. Have you heard of Corkscrew Peak
No.
in Death Valley?
No, but now I'm going to have to go.
It's probably one of the most gangster peaks I've ever done. It's like 8 miles, like around 4,000 gain. And it's not too far from Furnace campgrounds.
Yes.
But it feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. Like, it feels like grand isolation. Like, no one really knows about this trail. It's not in the brochures. No one really talks about it. There is a register at the top, but when me and my crewmate did it 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was in April, I was just like, wow. I feel like I'm on a Star Wars movie, like on Tatooine, and the view from the top of Corkscrew Peak is just breathtaking. That's all I gotta say.
Wow, okay. I'll have to check that out.
Definitely do Corkscrew Peak if you get a
Corkscrew Peak.
chance.
I will. I'm in my little mountaineering era.
Yeah, there's no trailhead. My friend just pulled over. We didn't even settle into our campground. I'm like, bro, what are we doing? He's like, we're gonna do this mountain. I'm like, okay.
Dude, yeah, I'm stoked. I'm gonna do it, yeah.
Let's recap all 3 trails. Say
Okay.
the state and the name again just for the listeners so they can get a
Okay.
roundup in their head. So you first said Arkansas.
Arkansas, and forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, okay? Goat Bluff Trail, overlooking the Buffalo National River. Colorado, Red Deer Alpine Lake, and then California, Zabriskie's Point Trail Canyon. Yeah. Top 3.
Sounds like some incredible choices. And to bring it back home to Southern California, where you're based out of, are there any favorite local trails or peaks that you want to shout out?
Oh, the one I just did. I had the most fun.
Oh, Lord, which one?
Sugarloaf.
No!
Through Falling Rock Canyon. Woo!
Oh, wow.
And I was like, here we go. You know, I haven't gotten to the point where I'm filming hands-free yet, but that trail reminded me that I really should be, but it was so fun. Oh my gosh, I love that trail so much. It was just so freaking fun. And you do Sugarloaf Peak, and then you're like, this is so cutesy. You know, it's actually really cute. And I had when I was coming up, the part, there's like a itty bitty ridge before you get to the peak. Like,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
just that little thing. I was just like, wee, parkour, you know, like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Yeah, that is my absolute favorite. Oh my gosh, I love, first of all, love Cucamonga Wilderness. I'm always over there. But that Sugarloaf Peak via Falling Rock Canyon, oh, that's so fun.
What an answer, because I saw the content. I was like, did she just do that solo?
Oh yeah.
That's a very notorious canyon, as I'm sure you heard about constantly over and over. And it's funny because I've never seen Sugarloaf Peak in the light. I've only seen it in the dark. I've done Falling Rock Canyon twice at 2 a.m. in the morning, all the way to Sugarloaf, but it was part of the Fool's Traverse.
Right.
And I didn't get to see it on the light when I did my most recent attempt. But the fact that you did Falling Rock Canyon solo, you know, that requires a lot of navigation prowess. It's completely off trail. There's a lot of parts where people enter the wrong canyon, end up in a class 4 gully scramble and have to turn around. I have a lot of friends who've got very disoriented in there, had to turn around. So major props to you for
Thank you.
getting the job done.
Yes.
There's that, I'll never forget, like before you reach the ridge, the massive talus fields.
Yeah.
There's no trail and you're like, okay, the only way is up and there's boulders and you have to be very hyper aware if a rock's coming down, even if it's like a smaller rock.
Yeah.
It's gaining speed,
Yes,
and it's like an
yeah.
obstacle course.
Yeah, so this is very important to say because I usually I'm out there doing whatever. A lot of people are concerned for my safety. I need to be more concerned for my safety as well. So this is the first trail I also used my new helmet. So yes,
Good shit.
Safety queen.
Yeah, in that canyon, yeah, that's
Yes,
a good.
yes. So we're turning into safety queen. I'm just having fun. I do everything. Not everything. I have community now. I go out with people, but yeah, I love to do a crazy ass fucking trail by myself. I know this doesn't sound good, but I don't do too much research. I'm just like, let's figure it out. Like I'm just like a wild bandit out there. I'm like, let's fucking go. Like yeah, so I had the most fun ever and I was safe. Yeah.
I respect that a lot too, because if you're doing a lot of solo backcountry backpacking too, like I feel like your navigation and your awareness is very like high level, or it's very sharp.
Yeah, I would say naturally, I think it's more elevated than your average hiker. Not to say that average hikers aren't, but
So average hikers get lost in 1 mile hikes.
Yeah, so I have a lot of more awareness, and especially as a woman, I get tons of comments like, you're not being safe, be careful with this, be careful with that, be careful of the snakes, be careful, and I'm just like, this is common sense to me. So I have this heightened natural awareness that a lot of people don't give me props for, so thank you for saying that. But yeah, it's also important that as much as I know that I know my shit, right?
Sure.
I still need to like take into the account of helmets and just like those natural safety things, because like I am like a billy goat now. I have so much speed, agility, balance. I can do so many things that not a lot of people can do, but it's important I remind myself to do it with, safety tools. But yeah, I do have a heightened sense of, navigation and everything.
And I also get not doing, like, obviously you want to do enough research, the proper research.
Yes.
So you know what you're getting yourself into more or less, but sometimes when you overdo it, you psych yourself out.
Yes.
And if you already have a lot of backcountry experience and peak bagging and backpacking, sometimes you want to just throw yourself out there and see what you're made of. Obviously you want to be careful too, but that's everyone's own adult decision at the end of the day too.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of the times now, with the introduction of apps, All Trails, downloadable maps, all these Garmins and stuff, I just barely figured out how to send a text message with my Garmin, which is hilarious.
It's still like
me.
a bit confusing.
It's still hilarious to me. But with all of these technologies, it takes away this experience of trusting oneself outdoors. So I'm always aware of that as well. Like I don't ever want to be over prepared over this, because I need to know at the end of the day I can trust myself in a pinch if I need to. So I always keep my skills sharpened. Yeah.
Love that mentality and mindset. All right, so you gave a shout out to Sugarloaf Peak via Falling Rock Canyon in the Cucamonga Wilderness, or in the general, let's say Mount Baldy area. And you said a lot of love for Cucamonga Peak as well too, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
Because remember, I ran into you, or a lot of the community ran into you at Ice House Saddle when we were all doing the Fool's Traverse Challenge. And when I came down running from Timber Mountain, you were there. And I was like, the heck? I thought she was still in Eastern Sierra's Mount Whitney. So it was such a pleasant surprise to see you at Ice House Saddle. Like, what are you doing here?
I'm visiting my first love, Cucamonga. That's my homegirl.
You were going solo, but what you were trekking through was the whole community.
And I didn't even know. It was hilarious. It was just a surprise. And I was like, well, this is awkward because I have a date with Cucamonga.
Yeah.
I was like, these people are
waiting on me.
I was like, let me just wait it out with them. So, but no, it was fun meeting everybody out there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a time. You definitely saw us going through it physically, mentally. Thank you for letting me sit down on your Nemo. I think it's your Nemo switchback.
Yes, of course. Pad. No, it was so fun. And thank you for being inspiration for me to do the 6 peaks. Yeah, that weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just beautiful how, I think my favorite thing about that challenge is how all those peaks connect. I didn't know they all connect until I first did it in 2021. And I was like, holy shit, like SoCal has like a pretty insane peak bagging culture, or just like mountain culture that you can all like train. yourself to do as many as you want in a day if you want.
Yeah, no, so it was so fun, and that was my first time ever hearing about Fool's Traverse too. So I was just
It's a legendary event.
I was like, these people are putting themselves through brutal shit. I want to do it too. Yeah.
Yeah, because after that day, I started seeing content of you doing West Baldy, Mount Harwood, Thunder, Telegraph, Timber, and I'm sure a bunch of other ones you did as a ninja in the darkness of the night.
Yeah, I did that one day with Angel, who was coming down Cucamonga too.
Oh, what?
Hilarious.
That's crazy.
I just running into everybody that day.
That's so awesome. And also on this show, we want the listeners to learn more about the outdoor tips and tricks that have personally helped them. And I could ask you about day hiking and other aspects of outdoor recreation, but obviously your specialty is in solo backpacking and traveling. So I want to ask you, like, what are those solo backpacking and solo female travel tips that you can share with the community that have helped you personally?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think because it's very intersectional to me, because you can think of solo backpacking, but then you have to think of fact I'm a girl as well.
Yes.
So when you combine the two, I would say only letting your very close friends and your family know your location. But what I do is I give myself delayed time. So like I'll never tell people where I'm currently at or where I'm going to with my content, because that is just people might be waiting for you, like, hello. So any solo female travelers out there who are trying to make content, right? Because there's room for everybody. I want, like, if you want to make content and you want to be a cutesy solo female traveler, you should do that. Just remember to just, make sure you're giving yourself a delayed time. I've learned that the hard way. Okay, so that is a huge one.
Is there also, like, maybe in addition to that, which is really great, like it could even be in relation to the gear or like certain other behavioral things you do when you're solo backpacking or traveling? Maybe you say certain things when you are out there as a female, like at the campgrounds or you're hiking, like someone's asking you, like, oh, are you solo out here? Like, are there any other things you can think of that come to mind?
Yeah, so I always say, oh, I'm meeting my friends here, or, something like that. I have also worn a ring before.
Ah, smart.
That is actually probably the best way to travel, is to travel with a ring, because people take one look and then immediately they're disinterested. So you already dishearten half the people who might want to like be like, hey girl.
You're breaking everyone's hearts, Mel.
Hello, mama. I know, it's okay. But yeah, so wearing a ring is actually really fun. It's fun to cosplay. No, it's actually really,
It's fun to pretend to be.
It's fun to pretend, put a ring on it. But yeah, no, put a ring on it, girls. Put a ring on it yourself. Say that you're with someone or you're waiting for someone. I know some people, like when you have your car, sometimes having your second backpack, because most of the time you're going to have two backpacks, having your second backpack at your campsite shows people that there's two people. So just little things, just pretending that, you're with someone, it goes a long way. It really goes a long way. Yeah.
Do you carry anything like a knife or a mace or bear spray also to protect yourselves if you feel you need to, as a solo female trekker and traveler?
So that's a really good question. People ask me that all the time. And I personally feel uncomfortable with safety, weapons. Yeah, weapons. Okay. Because I'm scared that I'm going to be using them wrong and end up hurting me. But what I've found, so I've talked about it with friends very extensively, the best solution to that, where you don't want to handle weapons or anything, you get a very bright flashlight with like a high lumen, and you just blind people with it. And then it's also hard, so you can hit people with it. So to me, because you can have a lot of distance, your best friend in self-defense is like distance, right? People think, oh, let me learn how to fight. No, I box. I grew up wrestling. I box.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah, don't fucking mess with me. No, I'm just kidding. You can mess with me, but you're getting a hit. But the distance is probably your best friend. So that flashlight, pa-chow, pa-chow, blind. Blind. And bears too. Pa-chow, pa-chow. It blinds them. But usually your biggest from what I've learned, your biggest predator is a human. So not a bear really. So blind and then hit and then run.
Hit in the nuts.
Yeah. That's your best friend. Get yourself like one of those long flashlights that are super bright, blind people, and then smack them.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, and then like if you need to see in the night, there you go.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Less things.
That's a great, I
it's
didn't
not
expect
illegal.
that, but that
It's
was a
not
great
illegal.
piece of gear for safety reasons and multiple reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because if you blind them, that gives you a lot of time to like either defend yourself or attack them in a certain way or get away from that area. Yeah. Have you ever had any like intense encounters of that sort, like as a solo female?
I've had a close encounter once with a man. It was like a standoff, you know, kind of like who's gonna move first, right?
On a trail, or you're traveling, or?
No, so this was just like, this was it's always in the cities. It's always, and that's the thing, that's another thing is I want my little girly pops to be aware of. You think, yeah, you should be hyper vigilant in the woods, you really should, but it's always the cities. They're gonna get you in the cities. There's lots of stalkers. There's people, peeping Toms. I've dealt with peeping Toms. There's people who will, even if you never leave your car, they're kind of just gonna assume you're a solo female traveler based off how you pull up, and then you never leave your car. They're like, and my car's a little girly, so maybe don't make your car so girly. I don't know how to describe that, but people have followed me before. People have been like this, and you know, people will linger at your car, like ask you questions, and then they won't leave, and you're just like, well, so it's a lot of, you just need to be super, super hyper vigilant and hyper aware of, you know, the way that people are interacting with you. Trust your gut immediately, because it's 1000% always right. Yeah.
And would you say for people wanting to get into this lifestyle of a solo female travel or trekking or backpacking, are there any specific places or national forests or parks you think is a good like confidence booster or builder, or a way to kind of warm them up to this idea of getting out there solo as a female?
So the one thing that I will say that is very unique about California, specifically SoCal. So I love SoCal, especially when you're starting your backpacking or solo travel. The mountains are very near the city. So if you want to bail because you get scared, Mount Baldy, right? It's like 8 minutes to the foothill. Like,
yeah.
So I would say find places where a bail plan is super easy. Because I've traveled a lot of the U.S. and those forests, those places, there aren't good places for a bail plan because they're remote and they're deep, right? So don't, just because somewhere looks beautiful, like, right, Sequoia looks gorgeous, right? I would say it's probably not your best bet when you want to bail, because the reception, you're gonna wait to get reception. So I would say LA is and yeah, I'm biased because I'm from, you know, here, but I've traveled a lot, and I would say that this is a really special, unique, beautiful place to start doing that, because if you're scared, you can just leave and you can be home within 30 minutes.
Yeah, great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Like, have a bailout plan, or if you really do feel uncomfortable, you unfortunately do have some kind of negative interaction or experience, and you're like, I don't feel comfortable anymore.
Yeah.
The city's 30 minutes away,
Exactly.
45 minutes, or maybe even closer.
Yeah.
And also, since we're on the topic of solo exploring, you know we got to talk about your solo backpacking journey across the U.S. Like, where exactly did you explore, and what were some of the most memorable places, experiences, or even unexpected encounters that keep staying with you, that you keep reminiscing about?
Yeah, so
Like, I know you mentioned like some of the
Yeah.
states and the trails. Obviously, those you think about and they stay with you, but like in regards to this question, any like, it could be encounters or experiences?
Yeah, so this is a really great question, and when I decided to solo backpack the country, my intention was to like try and hit up national parks and like hiking, like pure hiking only. I wasn't so interested in cities. I've never been like a super like, oh, I want to visit cities. Like,
City girl, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't visit any cities really. I passed through cities for sure, but I mostly went to rural, remote areas. And what ended up happening, the biggest surprise, as someone who grew up in California, SoCal, Long Beach, a very liberal, very progressive city, what I learned was that a lot of Americans have this natural openness to them, and so the South really surprised me, because I think I had my guard up there, because you hear stories like, the policies out there, and government
politics,
politics,
policies.
and so I automatically applied the government politics and policies to the people, right, in my head. So I was going out there with this preconceived idea and notion. And granted, there's extreme people everywhere, But what I found is that people people everywhere in the U.S., they at the core, especially with what's going on now, like government-wise, a lot of people are just really, really, really good. And they want to help you. And I think that I was opposed to a lot of help on this trip. So in the beginning, it was hard. Like, you gotta, as a solo female, right? You've gotta make sure that you have your guard up and this and that. But at the same time, you're gonna need help. And it's hard to find that balance. And I know on the topic of solo female, we were talking about safety, and that's a huge concern. But I also want to kind of put women at ease a little bit, because every time we focus on the safety aspect, the dangerous aspect of it, it kind of just is a little discouraging too. Yeah. So what shocked me is that traveling the country as a solo wasn't as dangerous as I really thought it was going to be. And I found that quite encouraging. I found that quite sweet. And I met a lot of beautiful people that helped me along the way. And I made so many friends and connections, and people were like, whenever you come back, just let me know. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. So the biggest surprise out of traveling the U.S., it's beautiful. First of all, in my opinion, the U.S. is the most beautiful country in the world. I will die on a hill. We have the most beautiful landscapes in the entire world. I will always say that. But I also think that I fell in love with people, and I started to learn to trust again. Because I was solo for so long. I had this natural wall and barrier, but what traveling the country taught me was to learn to trust again people. And so when I came back, I came back with just this passion for building even more community. So I do want to shout out to Arkansas, the people of Arkansas. They did really heal my trust issues with people, and I think that's beautiful. I think it's so beautiful. So that was the biggest surprise for me.
Were these fellow backpackers, or were these people in the small towns, the mountain towns? Because it's really special going through the small cities, small towns as you backpack or drive through to get to a lot of these trailheads.
Yeah, it was just the everyday average person in Arkansas, in the small communities. They were just so beautiful, so helpful, and so kind and sweet. And I was just and they helped me. And then some people helped me get my car out of a pinch. So many things, right? But I was just shocked at how kind people are. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this backpacking across the U.S., did you literally do that, or did you do a through hike? I also want to get a better understanding on this backpacking across the U.S. Did you hit all the, maybe not all the states, obviously, right, but was there several states you went through?
Yeah, so I did a lot of trails. So I would park
section
hiking, because at the end of the day, I need to come back to my car, and travel to the next state. But yeah, just did section hiking. I did a couple overnighters as well at White Sands in New Mexico. That was fun.
Oh, sick. Hell yeah.
That was beautiful. Oh my gosh.
The sand is literally fine grained.
And then there's these beetles crawling through, and you're like, what the heck? It was so beautiful. Yeah, so it was a lot of section hiking, a couple of overnighters, but it was mostly just camp, and then you camp as well. There's combinations, sleeping in the car, sleeping on the ground, so many things, in sleeping at Planet Fitnesses,
yeah, that's the lifestyle.
Yeah, so it was a combination of everything, but quite literally, My car, like I had 2 backpacks and a little mat, and that's it. That's all I had, and all my hiking stuff. Yeah.
It's so empowering when you live that lifestyle. You're
Yeah.
like, I don't need much in life.
No, you don't. You really don't. Yeah.
And you know we got to talk about this because you've mentioned it a bunch already on this episode, this pod. You keep saying cowgirl camp,
Oh, yeah.
wild camp, or cowboy camp. What exactly is this? Talk to me more about it. I'm sure everyone's so curious because I've seen a lot of content where I was like, that looks wild.
Yeah. So I call it cowgirl camping, but the gender neutral term is wild camping. So cowboy camping, whatever. You literally put your little mat, my Nemo mat, on the ground, get your sleeping bag, and you lay down and you go to sleep under the stars. And the beautiful thing, what I love most about cowgirl camping is, so very unique, right? The reason why I do it is because I want to be as close as possible to the dirt. People think I'm over exaggerating my love for the land. No, I'm like, that's my girl. Like, I'm in communion with this land, and I just want to be with her as much as possible. She holds me, and I feel so safe, comfy, cozy. I'm like, I literally will go in my sleep and be like, because I have the land here, and then I have the wind hitting my face. Sometimes the dew, the sprinkle, and I'm in love with every aspect of the earth. And then, you know, you're tossing and turning in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, I can't sleep. And you just like look up and you're like, there's the Big Dipper. There's the stars. Oh, there's the moon. You know, like there's just something, and I'll say romantic, right? But there's something like sexy, romantic about just like freaking sleeping in the dirt. Like I freaking love it. It's like my jam, and I get really good sleep. You know, I get really good sleep. I get better sleep than in a tent. So I started backpacking in a tent, but
Yeah, when did it switch? Did someone show you that cowgirl camping was a thing? Did you see a piece of content or you just try it out randomly?
So I started off in a tent. I just couldn't stand it. There was moments where I'd be like, I feel like I can't breathe, even though it's like you're in fresh air, and a tent is so paper thin. Like you're getting airflow. It's not like, you know. So I started off in a tent and I just didn't like it. Didn't get good sleep. And I remember there's this book. It's by Jojo Moyes, Giver of the Stars, something like that. It's about, of course, I love women, female empowerment. So it's about women who start a pack horse library, and they literally give books to rural communities in the country on their horseback. And when they want to, you know, cowgirls, they sleep. That's why, because cowboy camping. I heard the term cowboy camping because that's where it started. Cowboys would just, all right, I'm done for the day, and they just sleep on the ground. So I remember that, and I was like, that's a thing. And I asked, I call him, he's my camp dad, George. He's 73. He's still out there backpacking, you know. So sometimes I still backpack with him. He's like, yeah, you know, you can just sleep on a rock. And I was like, what do you mean you sleep on a rock? And he was like, yeah, cowboy camping. And I was like, wait a second, I remember reading about. So that was the connection. And one day I was like, I'm just going to try it. And the thing that I love most about George is that he never questioned me. He's like, are you sure? He never did anything. He's like, okay, I'll be right here. I was like, period. So he gave me the confidence because he didn't think it was weird. So I was just like, okay, let me do it. So I did it, and I fell in love with it immediately. And then now I just cowgirl camp. Except for when it's like pouring rain. Sometimes if it's sprinkling, I'll still cowgirl camp.
Where was that first cowgirl camp experience? Obviously, I feel like you would remember that, right?
Yeah, it was a section of the PCT. I think we were at Manker Flats or something like that.
I think Mount Baldy when I hear Manker Flats, but I'm sure it's
like, it was way out there.
in California, or
it was in California.
Okay.
And I would say California is amazing to start your cowgirl camping, because the weather's not too crazy. You know, it can get cold. Oh, for sure, it gets cold. But I like it. And so I started in SoCal. And then, you know, it just became easier. I would say in Arkansas, I learned my lesson real quick not to do that. Ticks, 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 ticks.
Yeah, because that was my next, like, some of my follow-up questions. Like, a lot of people probably don't want to do that because they think of the bugs or the insects that come from the ground or whatever. Are you using a certain style of sleeping bag that is more ideal for this kind of like camping lifestyle or cowgirl camping?
No. No,
Like
I'm
a
not.
mummy, or like does it have like covers your whole body? A zip up?
No, so I use my Nemo mat, and then I have a mummy style bag, right? But there's no net, there's no nothing, and I'm just going for it. I am light. I'm sensitive to light. Like if there's a little bit of light, it'll wake my body up naturally. So I wear a beanie, you know, and that covers like a good portion of my eyes, but that's pretty much it. And I have learned, you know, it's not for the weak. There are bugs. You're gonna feel spiders. One time a frog jumped on me. That was fun. That was hilarious.
That was fun.
That was hilarious. I literally laughed so loud. And then mosquitoes sometimes will get you know? But to me, it's a part of the experience.
You embrace it.
I embrace it. And I've never had a situation where it was just like, danger other than the tick, right?
Yeah.
But got that removed, tick remover, you know, don't remove it with your hands. But yeah, so it's just, that is the deal with, if you want to be a motherfucking cowgirl, you're gonna have to sign certain, you know, disclaimers like, yeah, you're gonna get bugs in your, yeah.
So when you're out there, I guess it depends on the route and the weather, but are you fully committed to cowgirl camping, or do you have your tent and your backpack just in case?
Half the time I'll have a tent, but I do go out there, you know, without a tent a lot. And I think that it's natural. I used to question myself, but at the same time, I'm a firm believer, and call me woo-woo, call me whatever, this land's gonna take care of me. She's not gonna, like, I truly, at the end of the day, I put all my faith in the land, and I'm gonna be just fine. I'm gonna be just fine. Obviously, do your research about the weather beforehand, but we all know the mountains can turn on you. So I do have like an emergency shelter, like those little packs. So, you know, I think it depends on the person. I never want to give someone advice to go without shelter, because then if something happens, they're gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, like, Mel, what's up? This whole cowgirl camp looked fun. I hated it.
Listen, it takes a special kind of crazy, all right, to really just embrace the cowgirl life. And lucky for me, I'm crazy. Yeah.
I love how you just keep going back to how you trust the land, how it'll take care of you. It's very indigenous wisdom.
Yeah.
Are you also part native?
Yes. So from my mom's side, we're indigenous. And I'm very mixed. Very, very,
I was going to ask,
mixed.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we've got the Yaqui, Perpetua from my mom's side, and then my dad's side got Viking blood, okay? So I'm mixed, and I just embrace it. At first, you know, I felt like I wasn't enough to be able to like claim certain aspects of my identity. But, you know, my mom, she's always tended to the land.
Is she full native? Or is she Latina?
Yes, she is.
Or both?
Yes. So her family's from Mexico as well.
Okay.
So she's both Mexican. Her family is from Jalisco, and also indigenous.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So,
of course.
Yeah. So a lot of Mexicans are indigenous.
Correct.
So yeah, she is. And then for my dad's side, he's got Norwegian blood, Viking blood, and then there's some Mexican blood as well. So, you know, it's learning that you don't have to be 100%. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to fit into this box to represent who you are. So I'm always going to represent indigenous culture, Mexican culture. I'm learning to dabble into, you know, Norwegian Viking culture, because my dad is so proud. He's such a Viking, and maybe that's why I'm like okay with like in the snow. I'm asleep in the snow. I'm crazy. Yeah, it might be because I'm a little Viking, you know. My trail name.
That's dope.
But my trail
do you have a trail name?
I do.
Okay.
I do. But it's funny because it is the indigenous side of me. It's Xena, because my mom, growing up, she would always do the warrior cry, And I used to be so embarrassed about it. Like graduations, birthdays, every time she wanted to celebrate, she would do her warrior cry out for everyone to hear. And I'd be like, oh. But now whenever I'm at a peak, whenever I do something crazy epic, I do my warrior cry.
You do your warrior cry.
I do my warrior cry, and I'm so proud of it. It's any kind of representation is just, I'm so proud. Yeah.
Is this an okay setting to share the warrior cry, or does it need to be on top of the peak?
Always. So like, I don't want to like blow this mic up, but it's
Get
gonna
a little sample. Don't scare everybody here.
But it's like longer. I don't want to blow the mic up. I don't know how the mic works, but yeah.
That was good.
Like
That's perfect.
on my videos, like Alvi. Oh, Alvi, my best friend. Okay, everyone loves Alvi. I got him. I was like, come on, Alvi, you gotta do your cry. You gotta do your grito. You know. And so he does his now, and I do my warrior cry. So every time we do a peak together, we do our cries together, and it's just magic, beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, that's me. I'm a blend of so many things, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna represent my indigenous side and my connection to the land.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
The warrior Xena.
Xena Warrior Princess,
Yeah,
that's me.
I watched that show when I was young.
love that show. Love Lucy Lawless.
That is like its own era of TV, television show.
That's my jam.
That is so wild. Yeah, I think it's so important. A lot of people who recreate outdoors, they don't even realize this is all stolen land. This is all, like, there's such a deep, rich history, especially in Southern California, just California, of tribal history. And they're still all here. They're not relics of the past. You know, here in SoCal, we have Gabrielina Tongva, Shumash, Fernandinho Tataviam, et cetera, et cetera. Actually, one of my all-time favorite guests, and I think will always be a forever legacy episode on this pod, I got to interview this tribal elder, Alan Salazar.
Wow.
He was of Shumash and Fernandinho Tataviam descent. And he was the tribal elder that presided over the burial of P22, the celebrity mountain lion. And it was a very small congregation. They invited a few other tribal elders and some of the leaders of nonprofits. But when I interviewed him and he was sharing the story, I was like, wow. And just learning about, you know, the deep, dark history with the missionaries and how they were run into the ground. I was just like, like, I think that'll be one of the most important
and now that you say that, actually a lot. So on my U.S. travel trip, I did all the hiking and all the, you know, campsites and national parks, but I also visited a lot of the nations. So the Cherokee Nation, Lakota Nation, the Skallam Nation. So I visit every state I would go to. I'd look up the nation there and I'd visit, and it was so that was a highlight for me, for sure. And on my TikTok, because most of my videos go onto my TikTok. That's my main platform. That's where most of my followers are.
Yeah, I noticed that. What is your TikTok again?
It's les.ventures.
Okay.
Yeah. So my TikTok, that's where my main platform is, because my Instagram has been more for hiking and like my kooky personality, right? It's just for me and my, you know. But my TikTok, I've got the Cherokee Nation on there, I got the Lakota Nation, I got the Skallam, Washington Nation up there, and I actually did the Trail of Tears in Arkansas and Oklahoma. So I walked the most well-preserved section of the Trail of Tears, which is in Arkansas, and I walked it barefoot, and I just spent so much time there, and it was beautiful. And I made a video that was educational and non-threatening, non-attacking, and the people of Arkansas were very appreciative of the education that I gave them.
This is on your TikTok.
This is on my TikTok.
I not gonna lie, I need to explore more of your TikTok.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So yeah, my TikTok has, the emphasis on my TikTok is huge in the indigenous culture, and I do a lot of education on that. And so that's what I was doing in my U.S. travel. So I'll send you the link to the Trail of Tears video.
No, please.
It's beautiful.
I want to see that.
It's beautiful. That, to me, that was what I also did when I traveled the U.S. Yeah.
I'm glad I went down that rabbit hole.
I'm glad
with
you did too, because honestly,
that's a very special part of you.
It is a huge part of me, and I've just done so much. I forget sometimes.
Let's transport out of SoCal for a moment and head up north to the wondrous landscapes of the Eastern Sierra, which I like to call California's prized mountain range, and trek right into your epic and recent Mount Whitney summit, where you
Yes.
had to break trail. And
Yes.
apparently you set a record for the 2026 Whitney season,
Yes.
and you said you were the first person to go up and down the
Yes.
99 switchbacks.
Yes.
So I've heard a lot of Mount Whitney stories on this pod, and I'm not asking you to recount the entire experience, but one part of your story that really stood out to me that I want you to take me through so that the listeners can really learn about it is the risk assessment process of deciding to either tackle the 99 switchbacks or the chute, because there was a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, this was in early June, or do you remember the exact date?
It was June, like, yeah, 4th or something. I don't remember the exact date, but it was like not even double digits in June.
Okay, beginning June.
Yeah, like first fresh week of June.
Yeah, because I remember when I started seeing the content, I was like, wow, there's a lot of snow up there. Because typically, every year is always different how deep the snow season seeps into summer. Like typically, I want to say like mid-July or closer to August is when like the main trail is like more open for like non-technical sense, like mountaineering.
Yeah.
But it looks like you had quite the spicy adventure, and there was a lot of thought and risk evaluation assessment that you had to do there. So just take me through like that experience. And where was your base camp? Did you camp at trail camp or outpost camp?
So we were at trail camp.
And this was an overnight or a day hike?
It was overnight.
Okay.
It was an overnight. We were at trail camp. We woke up at 2 a.m. to start because all the advice that we had gotten was you need to be off that summit by 12 basically. 12 for the thunderstorms, right? But people were saying even 9 a.m. because the snow was going to start turning to slush in the chute. So getting down would have been super dangerous. So we started at 2 a.m. When we got to the section where people started ascending the chute, the two people I was with weren't as experienced, which is okay.
Group of three of you.
It was the three of us, and I definitely was leading us up there. And we started to attempt the chute, but immediately they were uncomfortable. And also, I have a hard time, like I mentioned, assessing what is truly dangerous and what I can handle, because I'm used to doing just crazy ass shit. Like I'm always just sending it. And a lot of the times when I look back, I shouldn't have done that. So I was really grateful for those two because they showed me, hey, this is probably a little dangerous and we don't have helmets.
Oh, wow.
So it was the gear that really made that decision for us, and I was really happy with that. And no one had attempted to summit through the 99 switchbacks. I remember everyone on the trail was talking about that. So I was like, you know what? We already know we're not going to do the chute. We might as well look at the switchbacks. I have that kind of a mindset.
Get a closer look.
Let's just see.
Yeah.
I'm not married to the idea of we have to summit, right? But we're out here and we might as well explore and see what we can do. And the day prior, while we were backpacking to trail camp, there was a moment I had in Whitney, right? And I'm very connected to the land. It's something I'm always going to talk about. Whitney, I usually fall in love with mountains. I'll fall in love with this mountain, like me. But there was a moment where I looked up and Whitney, she was smiling at me with her teeth, her jagged teeth. It wasn't a cute smile. It was like a, I'm going to grab you kind of smile. And like, it was almost, it could feel like intimidating almost. I feel like people feel intimidated by Whitney. But I looked up at Whitney and I just smiled right back at her. I was like, I got you, boo. And in that moment, I feel like Whitney fully embraced me. Like she was like, you're welcome here. Like, I'm gonna get you safe. Like, you are that bitch. Like, I could just feel it. So I was just like, oh yeah. I was like, all right. And I fell deeply in love with Whitney. I feel like it was a mutual love we have. So she's special to me. So I knew I was safe. She was gonna allow me to explore. So we went up the switchbacks and it was very technical, a scramble. And there was ice, there was a whole lot of things, and my crew was not as experienced, but they trusted me. It's not my first rodeo guiding people, and I know that I could see where their limits would have been, and I guided them like step by step. Alvi, he was going in certain parts, he was very confident, he got it, and with Little, I was guiding her step by step up the scrambles and stuff, because I was like, you can do this, I know. She was like, I really want to do this. I felt we had permission from the land, and I'm never going to do something that they feel super uncomfortable with. So it was just very good conditions overall. Yeah, it was hard as hell. Yeah, it was tough, but we got it. And it took a while. It did. I'm pretty sure people from the chute got up there faster, but we still made it. And we summited, all three of us, and we got down. But when we got back down to the chute, slush. Slushy, slushy, slush. And everyone was coming down the chute.
They were glissading down?
Yeah, they were. And I knew something was wrong. And I always trust my gut. And this is where we decided to split up as a group, which is not ideal, right? You don't ever want to split up from your group. But I was like, y'all are going to do that. And I'm glad you're making this decision that's best for you. I'm going to go through this 99 switchbacks. I trust myself with that scramble. I know myself. I can handle that. But what I don't know is this.
Correct. You already went up that way. You're familiar with the terrain or the potential obstacles that could be ahead.
Exactly. So I decided to go back down the 99 switchbacks, made it safely. Everyone was safe and we were all happy. And then, I just I was the first person to go up and down of the season. So it was just an incredible experience, and I felt like a bad bitch.
That must have been so wild. So you're descending the 99, and then the two others, you can see them going down the chute?
Oh, yeah. I saw...
they're probably glissading small sections here and there. You're probably were you looking back?
I was low-key scared. God. I was like, I don't want to, because Little, she didn't have the proper gear.
Oh, no.
She didn't have an ice axe to stop herself.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, I saw a body just go, ooh, and I was like, I don't want to look. And I just had a feeling it was her. And it ended up being her. Yeah. But she was okay. She got a little...
Yeah.
But Alvi, he went down slowly, with the proper ladder style, whatever. But yeah, we all made it safe. No one was injured. I just trusted myself and my gut, and I made the decision that was best for me, and I'm glad I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah. That was my first time ever doing Whitney, ever. And I was going into Whitney, thinking, oh, I've done hard shit. Whitney is its own thing. It is its own war, right? You're going to frickin' battle. And there's so many aspects that I was just not anticipating. But it was such a beautiful experience, and I'm just so grateful for it. Yeah, it's truly life-changing.
Yeah, you must have had a really strong connection with Whitney, and granted you permission. Thank God, you and your group got down safely.
Yeah.
Nothing major happened.
No.
Because as you already know, I'm sure a million people tell you, the helmet, the ice axe, glissading, self-arresting.
There was lost hikers.
Shit gets real.
There was lost hikers when we started, and they were asking us to look for them, and we're like,
I saw that.
Okay, yeah, because we had rocky walkie-talkies.
Wait, okay. The lost hikers, I now remember that. We definitely got to get into that.
Yeah.
Did this happen you started the trail and someone was like, hey, my friends are lost, or there's lost hikers up there?
Yes. So we started the trail, and this guy comes up to us shaking. He honestly scared me. I was like, I don't need this right now because I'm about to go up. He was like, are you going to start the trail? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, do you have are those rocky walkie-talkies? They have 40-mile range.
Yeah, the walkie-talkies are top tier premium.
And he's like, I've been looking for my friends. We got separated. They didn't make it. It was at this point, we're starting at 8 a.m. They hadn't come down. Can you look for them? And I was just like, yeah, I guess so. So we were looking for them. We were asking people. People were like, you know what? There was lost hikers last night, and they decided to keep going even though I told them to stay. We ended up finding them. They were like, whoa.
Where did you find them?
They were coming down right before the permits, but they were like, whoa, they weren't doing so well. So people prior were saying, basically people were giving them electrolytes and food as they were like traveling, but yeah, they were just like literally laying on the side and they were just like looked
Defeated.
yeah,
Wrecked.
and he was so I remember him being so sunburnt, and we're like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, we're fine. And like, yeah, they're gonna make it down there. And we're like, I forget his name, but we were just like, is this person waiting for you? And we're like, yeah. And so we like walkied it in, and yeah, it was crazy. So I was just like,
This is on your ascent. The
yeah.
last thing you need to shake any confidence you had on the way up.
And then I remember when I made the decision to leave my group, they popped in my head. I was like, because the whole time we were like, me, Alvi, Little, we were like, man, you never leave your group. You never. Because now we're looking for these people like, what were they thinking? You never leave your group. And then I was over here at the summit like, I'm going to leave you. And so there's just, you said, like, that was very much inexperienced. Like, I didn't know what I was about to get into mindset. Like, why would they leave their group? Like, and then I'm like, oh, because Whitney's its own fucking thing. Like, it's crazy. Whitney is crazy. So, like, whatever dynamics you think you're going to experience if you do Whitney for the first time, throw that out the window and just imagine it, like, 10 times more intense. Like, I was thrown into reality.
Yeah, because it's very common knowledge, don't leave your group, don't separate.
Yeah.
It's very true. But if you feel for your own personal safety, you're more comfortable with going down or up a certain route, you also got to listen to that too. And if the other people have a certain mindset, I mean, I guess it really all depends on the dynamics of the group, but like, I feel like it's hard to like shame people about that kind of stuff because every situation is very contextual, very specific. There's several variables that go into it. So although you might have felt bad, like you knew that what was best for you, and them at the time thought that was best for them.
Yes. So I'd learned my lesson because we were looking for them in the beginning of the trail, like, you never leave your group. What were they thinking? And then I was like,
but the reality sometimes happens.
Yeah, I was like, okay, got you. Yeah, so I was humble real quick. Yeah.
And okay, so that happened. Lost hikers were found. Sounds like they got back down the mountain.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. George, because we had camped at George at the portal waiting for us because he didn't summit. So he didn't, say anything like too crazy. So I'm assuming. I never followed up on that because I was just so wrapped up in summiting and just everything. Yeah.
All right, so let's go back. You and your group got through the 99 switchbacks. It took forever.
Yeah.
You grinded through it. You get the trail crest.
Yeah.
1.9 miles to the summit. The longest 1.9 miles to the summit ever. What a lot of people say.
Yep.
So you get through trail crest. You and your group start ascending towards the summit. You start seeing the stone hut building come in the peripheral. You start getting closer to it. What are those emotions and feelings like for you when you get to the plaque and you finally reach the tallest mountain in the continental U.S.?
For me personally, because it was my first time up there, I usually have moments of such pride for myself. And it's funny because I thought I would have felt that. I thought I would have felt like such pride and just for myself, right? But what ended up happening is there was this sense of pride for the Latino community that I was carrying because it was me, it was Alvi, it was Little, and we're all Latinos, and we were met with this group that I felt like maybe saw us because we were a strange looking group. I'll be honest. You got me, and then you got Alvi, who's an older man, and you got Little, she's an older woman, and she, their fitness levels, they look different than all the people up there. And I feel like we were the underdogs. I feel like a lot of people underestimated us, especially at the chute. So we saw the people from the bottom of the chute at the top, and they're like, no fucking way, you made it. And yes, there was this, like, it was like like a cool thing, but I remember like I know when I've been underestimated because I'm a woman. I do things a lot. I know when I'm being underestimated, and I was just like, hell fucking yeah, we did, and it just felt like this huge like Mexican pride. It was just, it was like I did it for the
You did it for your
underdog.
people, for the underdogs.
Exactly. So I thought like, yeah, I did it, but it was like we did it. And I remember in my video I added the Mexican flag. I was just like, yeah, like we've got to represent. It just felt so good to represent something that was other than me. So that's how that felt. I felt very proud to be different and to be underestimated and get my group up twice. So I actually summited with Alvi. And then Little, she took a little bit more time. So I summited a second time with Little. I got her up there, and
Wow.
it was bigger than me. That's how that summit felt. And that's the first time I've ever felt that way, that it was for someone other than me. So I was very proud. I felt very privileged to be there. That's how it felt. I felt very privileged. And I give all my thanks to Whitney for allowing me to be there, because I felt her permission. And so I knew that it was just going to be a grind, a struggle, but it was for someone other than me, and it was to get my group up. That's how it felt. Yeah.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
Like how you were like, it's not about how I really feel and like feeling like this badass trek or accomplishment. It's like, I saw how I was being looked at with my group. We may look a lot different than a lot of the other groups out
really
there,
did.
but y'all don't know. You
No.
don't know what's in us, our experience and what we did to get up here, because we're all up here now.
Yeah. That's
All of us are up here.
all of us are up here, so that's how it felt. Yeah.
And as you know, with Mount Whitney, I know you camped at Outpost, or no, you said you camped at trail camp. What comes up must come down. So just talk me real quick, like how was the descent? Any obstacles you had along the way, or did you get to trail camp in one piece, or anything you want to share about that descent?
The descent, yeah, so
Oh, you did actually talk about that one section from going from the chute.
yes. So
So
they
we
went
did
through
cover
the chute,
that. Okay,
and they
yeah.
went down the switchback. I went down the switchbacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt like the longest fucking hike of my life to get back to the car. I was like, there's no way it's this long. Absolutely.
It's that long.
It felt like forever. So I was experiencing a lot of shutting down. Like I was shutting down for sure, and people were asking, and I felt like if you summited Whitney, I feel like it's your obligation to help the hikers that are coming up with questions. So we were getting asked a million questions, and that's where the word started spreading. She went up the switchbacks, switchbacks, switchbacks. So it's like,
that's right, the domino effect.
yeah. So people started going up the switchbacks, or like at least attempting. So if I felt like it was my responsibility and duty to be like, be safe, you can go through, like, but at some point I was just like, someone's like, can I ask you a question? I was like, I really won't be able to answer. I was like, I can't. But there was this girl who needed, like, she didn't have enough food, and I just gave her all my food, and we gave her candy, and she was asking us questions. And then we left, and then I made the Whitney videos, and she found us on the videos, and she's like, thank you so much for the food. You literally saved my ass. And I was like, yeah. So that was nice. I was completely shut down, but at least I was able to help someone out. So yeah, that was the longest fucking hike back to the car I've ever experienced.
And I think we need to re-emphasize this again, because I didn't really make it even more clear. You breaking trail, going up the 99 switchbacks, what does that mean for those that don't know that terminology or that vocabulary?
Oh, right, because I even didn't know what that meant. I was just like, yeah, I was the first person to go summit through it.
Because that's a very important detail.
Yeah, so when you break trail, you're carving this path up. So a lot of people wanted the opportunity to go up the switchbacks, but it just wasn't possible. So as soon as they came back down, so first I went up and then I went back down. And there was someone who had, like, the day prior gone down a certain portion of the switchbacks, but no one had summited and come down, like, fully. So after I had done that, you know, it's like the word spread like wildfire.
Of course it did.
And then, you know, with my videos, everyone's asking on the video. So it was like crazy. Like, oh my gosh, what's the conditions like? And so I'm like,
it's a lot of attention.
It's a lot of attention. And then I started feeling, to be honest, at first I was like, I'm a bad bitch. Because I'm doing it in the moment and people are like, congratulations. But then when you're on social media, oh my gosh.
I'm sure you got a lot of different kinds of comments.
I did, and you know, people were calling me irresponsible. People were saying congratulations. People were saying liar. Like, it was just like, it was weird. And then but at the end of the day, I just helped who I could help with, like, telling you this is my experience. These are the conditions I had. And yeah, people have then started summiting through the switchbacks because yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your first Mount Whitney summit. Welcome to the Mount Whitney Club.
Thank you.
I did it once in 2019 as a day hike, and a lot of things happened.
Sure.
But it's its own podcast episode.
Yeah.
Someone in our group, I'll give you a little tidbit. I was on my friend's permit, and I was a part of a group where someone had to get helicoptered out. And that's all I'll say. Episode 9.
Watch
and
episode
12.
9 and 12.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so we're now closing the loop on Mount Whitney, which is in the Eastern Sierras, which is about 4 hours north of Los Angeles, 4 or 5, give or take, with there's traffic. And it still blows my mind that we have such a landscape, such as the Eastern Sierra, not too far from SoCal.
Yeah.
But I want to bring us down from the Mount Whitney high, come back down to SoCal. And you took on another extremely challenging trek that many consider just as difficult as Mount Whitney, if not harder. You completed the notorious route Cactus to Clouds in Palm Springs, which is 2 hours east of Los Angeles. And there's so many ways I kind of want to go about this with you, and this is also just as long a journey as Mount Whitney. And just to break it down for people out there who are not familiar with this route, Cactus to Clouds is a 21 or 22 mile day hike.
Yeah.
It is considered by Backpacking Magazine as one of the hardest day hikes in the world.
Oh, sure.
Because of it has the single highest elevation gain in the United States.
Yes.
I think it's over 10,000 feet. It ascends literally from the desert floor of Palm Springs. The trailhead is literally behind the Palm Springs Art Museum.
Yeah.
And you climb all the way 10,000 feet to San Jacinto Peak. And help me out here if you know the exact stats, but San Jacinto Peak is pretty damn tall. It's like 10,834 feet.
Yes, exactly. So you gain 10,800.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It is.
There's a reason there's a tram there that goes to the desert floor to Mountain Valley Station. And it's also just a rarity in the world to have a desert alpine peak, because in the winter, that shit gets real up there. True mountaineering.
Yeah.
And I guess for context for the listeners, what year, what month did you do it? And did you do it as a day hike, and overnight? And after you get into all that, like, there's so many sections to this hike. Like, what just stood out to you the most from the entire trek experience? But give us some of the details of, like, when you did it first.
Yeah. So my first time ever doing it was, it was either 2024 or like January 2025. Within that, it was in winter. I did as a day hike.
Winter. So you did it in December, January.
Yeah. So that was in 2024 or 2025, and then I did it as an overnighter backpacking trip 2 weeks before Whitney.
Oh, you've done it twice.
I did it twice.
Oh, day hike and overnight.
Day hike and then overnighter.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I know how each side to it has its different challenges. You know, the day hike, you got to get up and down in one day. You know, that's fucking hard. And that was also my first time ever tackling such elevation gain. I was experiencing so much. In those first 9 miles before you get to the ranger station, you're gaining like 8,000 feet.
Correct. Skyline Trail.
To me, that is the monster in and of itself. Each time, whether you're, regardless if you're backpacking it or day hiking it, you're getting that done in the first day. When I backpacked it, I did summit fully and then come down 2 miles from the tram to sleep. So basically you do it all in one day too, even when you're backpacking it, but you've got like 35 pounds on your back.
Oh, you carried the full backpacking pack all the way to the summit first. You didn't settle down.
Oh, well, I did, but the the last 3 miles is where you drop off that weight.
True, correct.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. This
You're
is the
right.
last 3 miles. So yeah, the first 9 miles are always going to be the toughest. It's always going to be the part of the trail where you have to bail or not. If you can make it to the ranger station, you can summit. That's my thought. But yeah, you become delirious in those first 9 miles. You're losing so much sodium and salt, and like, yeah, you're doing electrolytes, but there's only so much electrolytes can do. Yeah, it's just a beast of its own. And I always warn people, when you're doing that section, you have to have a mantra, first of all. Like, if it's the first time I ever did it, my mantra was, I can do hard things. I can do hard things. I can do hard things. And you just say it over and over, and you literally like psych your own brain out, and you're like, yeah, I can do hard things. And the second time I did it, my mantra evolved because of my mom. She said, Mi vida, you can endure so much more than you think. So I just like, I can endure so much more than I think. And those mantras will flip something inside you, and it'll get you to where you need to be. Truly, truly, truly. There's no other way. I can even explain it to someone like, that shit's gonna be hard. You're gaining 8,000 feet in the first 9 miles.
Yeah, first section's a monster.
There's nothing else that I can say or do to prepare you than Godspeed. Like, yeah. So I always tell people to prepare a mantra. Yeah, I always tell people to prepare a mantra. Every single hour you should be taking in like 200, 300 calories and electrolytes, like on the dot. Like, you need to care for yourself as if you're running a marathon. Like those aid stations, you need to be your own aid station, right? And then there's no water, so you have to carry all that weight. So there's so many things that, just like Whitney, it's its own thing. Cactus to Cloud is its own thing too. Like, if you try and tackle that trail as if it's any other peak hike, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. And it's like, yeah, there's certain hikes where I feel like research really is on your side, and those two trails, in my experience, have been like, you gotta treat it like freaking like it's a war. It's a war, yeah.
Especially those first 10 miles, the first 9 miles Skyline Trail, it's actually the point of no return. If you're in the middle of it, they advise you on all the blogs, no, don't turn around. You have to go up, because a lot of people get heat exhaustion, heat stroke, because you're literally closest to the desert floor. And now you're in the heat, you're exposed to the sun. They say you got to keep going up. And there's a reason. There's 2 rescue boxes in the first 9-10 miles. Yeah. So it's something that you have to be very aware of. So you've summited twice.
Yes.
What are those feelings and emotions like? Was it different than how you felt when you did Mount Whitney? Did you do these both solo?
Yes, I do. I do all of this.
Almost all of them solo.
Almost 95%, 98% of the stuff I've done in the past has been solo. I do see myself opening up more and being with company now, but each time I did it, it was solo. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've usually felt like I said, I felt pride, I felt good, you know. Both times I summited Cactus to Cloud, I felt like shit. I was like, I don't want to be, like, my mindset, Cactus to Cloud breaks you.
It's a true suffer fest.
It really is, and there's no point where I'm like, yeah, I fucking did it. No,
Keep it real.
I'm like, I did it, and I just want to fucking be home. I want to eat. Like, I'm cold, because it's always cold, and I did it in winter the first time. I was fucking freezing. It never felt good. At no point was I was like, this feels great. So Cactus to Cloud has broke me both times. We'll see if I do it again. If I do it again, it'll probably be because I feel a duty to take people and help them summit.
You must love these people. You're going to bring them to Cactus to Clouds.
But there's never been one time, like, I've never felt good at that summit. I've always felt like shit. And I question my sanity, my own sanity up there. Yeah, that's where I do it.
Have you done San Jacinto Peak only via Cactus to Clouds route? Have you ever just done it from the tram or via Marion Mountain?
I did it via Marion Mountain before, where you park at like Devil's Slide or something.
Sure, yeah,
something
Devil's
like
Slide,
that.
yeah.
So I've done Jacinto Peak 3 times, and also the first time I did it, I was injured. severely.
Oh,
So it's
Lord.
something about that peak, girl. It's that peak.
Everyone always has that peak where you're like, something always happens.
It's that peak. That peak doesn't like me.
Oh,
So
Lord.
maybe the land out there is like, but I still go and I still do it, and yeah, but I've always felt like complete crap out there. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you have a more
It's okay.
amicable experience. But this is the truth of the journey of
Yeah.
hiking and backpacking and peak bagging. It's not always going to be this
No.
incredibly smooth experience. It's going to challenge you to your core, and you're
Yeah.
going to maybe have some memories where you're like, damn, that was rough.
It was rough. Yeah. So it's not for the weak. It's not for the weak.
Yes, what I love about, not necessarily Cactus to Clouds, I've done it once, is the actual views from Santa Peak are probably like some of my all-time favorite views
They
in
are
SoCal.
beautiful.
I remember the conservationist, John Muir, everyone knows John Muir, right? The mountains are calling, I must go. He said that was the most sublime view in all of SoCal or California or something like that. And yeah, because out there when you're at the top of San Jacinto, it feels extra dramatic because your
Yes.
immediate surroundings is the desert floor.
Yes.
It isn't other peaks. Like you get to the top of Mount Baldy that you did recently.
Yeah.
I think it's dramatic up there, but it's not like when you're on top of San Jacinto, like you're literally like looking down,
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit. Like
Yeah.
if I tumble down this, I'm gonna splat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, the views up there are phenomenal, and it is one of my favorite views at the peak for sure, besides Cucamonga.
Cucamonga is always a
something,
stunner.
yeah. But yeah, it is the most dramatic. So I do believe everyone should summit Jacinto once, however you get there.
However,
Right, even if it's through the tram, sometimes that's people's, that's hard for people to do. And I would say Jacinto Peak is beautiful in the aspect that it's accessible, that there's all kinds of people that can bag that peak, right, because there's many different ways you can do it. So I think that that's a beautiful reason, or not aspect, not reason, it's a beautiful aspect of the peak as well.
even doing it from the tram, I love doing it from the tram, by the way. It's a banger still.
Yeah.
Like I remember it was our hiking crewmate's birthday. She was like, "How do I do a peak?" I'm like, "All right, well, I'll set up San Jacinto Peak via the tram." And oh my goodness,
Yeah.
so much shit happened that day. And I was like, wow, it was humbling. So I was like, even from the tram, it can be very difficult,
Yeah.
especially
It's an
with the group
accomplishment.
that you're with and the different levels that they have to fight through.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah.
So we've been chatting about some really badass trekking accomplishments of yours, but it wasn't always like that. Because when I was doing more research on you, you mentioned that your first backpacking trips were very messy,
Yes.
hard, and discouraging. What just happened on those trips, and what lessons did they teach you?
Yeah. So my first backpacking trips, I didn't have the right gear, so I felt really cold. The bags that I was using was not the correct bag, and it felt like really heavy. My sleeping bag was a camping style sleeping bag, so there's so many things, and I was scared of filtering my water, so I brought so much water. So there is so many things. The first time I ever solo backpacked, I went out there, I set up everything, but I was freezing cold. I ended up packing up everything and hiking back to my car. I bailed. And I remember feeling so defeated and just like, like maybe I'm not cut out for this. And I just learned that it's okay to a certain extent, right? But I had to get comfortable with it's okay to suffer. You're not going to go out there to a hotel. Like, if you think you're going to be comfortable and cozy and warm and all these things, and you're expecting that, you're going to bail out every time. So I think the true barrier I had to solo backpacking was understanding that things don't need to be pretty. Like, I don't need to be pretty. I don't need to be super comfortable. I don't need all of these things, right? And the more, as you know, you learn to live on the road, you start learning to live with less. But when you first start backpacking, you're not used to less, and you equate that with something's wrong or I'm not going to be okay. So to me, my first backpacking trips were it was like a huge confrontation with what I'm capable of and what is gonna bring me true, genuine peace. So yeah, and I felt like at the time, like, I remember thinking that I need to look, as a woman, like, I still need to look good. There were so many barriers that I had to myself, and yeah, it's just so funny when I think back now, because like now, like, I'll literally post like all my videos. I look like trash. You see my snot. I'm like, I'm the queen of snot. Like, I show people my snot now, and to me that's wild to me.
Snot queen.
Snot queen, because when I first started, I was like, it was so uncomfortable, just like looking not perfect. But that's the thing with backpacking, like, you just have to learn to like give up, right? But I've gained a lot, but you really have to learn to not be comfortable, and you have to learn that that's okay, and then you end up being happy with it, right? I'm sleeping on the dirt and I'm happy. I don't even use a bed. So I think that was the biggest barrier, is that the things society tells you that you need and that you should be like, and you have to kind of overcome that yourself. Yeah.
What's the vocab? I love the vocab surrounding like hiking, through hiking, backpacking. We're hiker trash.
Hiker trash,
We're
dirt
dirtbag
bags.
gypsies.
Yeah, we love our snot rockets. Oh, snot! Someone taught me how to do a snot rocket. I remember.
Oh, wonderful.
I was like, when I was hiking,
That's what you got to do if you have a confrontation with a creepy person.
Yeah.
Just snot rocket them.
yeah, I was so embarrassed. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do a snot rocket. Ew, this is gross. And now I'm like on camera. I'm like, like, I gotta get this out. Yeah, you literally turn into garbage. I love it. Yeah.
That's why I love the outdoors so much. It's like, it's so humbling. Like, out there, it really strips you down raw, where you're like, this is me. I might smell. This might be happening, but guess what? I really have to not care right now.
Yep.
Because we all are in the same boat. If you're thinking that they're thinking this, they're just trying to survive, or they're just trying to put up their tent or get through the hike or the backpacking or whatever they're dealing with at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, seek that discomfort because it's part of the journey. But
Yeah.
once you learn how to manage it better, man, the whole world just opens up.
Yes.
All right, super excited to ask you this next question, as you just have so many countless adventures. If there was one hiking or outdoor experience you could relive all over again, what would that be for you, Mel? Take a moment to process that, as I'm sure your brain is just processing so much right now.
I've done a lot. One experience
That you want to relive all over again.
honestly, and I know we already talked about it, but I would say the one moment, which, what, I do kind of get to relive, because I've recorded a lot of my adventures, so I'm actually very, very grateful that I have this special video. It is my first time ever cowgirl camping, and I have the video of like showing everyone, here's my camp, Dad George, and just this excitement, and I'm like literally hopping like a bunny. I'm literally like hee 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 hee, and then I like have the whole process of me getting in my bag and everything. And I remember in that moment when I fell asleep and I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw the stars above me. I just remember thinking, I am so lucky. I am so lucky. And something changed in my brain, and I just can't go back. Ever since that moment, I won't be able to go back to like normal tent camping. I mean, yes, I'm going to do it if I have to, but that moment unlocked the wild cowgirl side to me that I always knew I had. I've always been brave. I've always been a, solo independent backpacking queen, and I was already doing so many things, but there was this change that I had. It was like, I'm a motherfucking cowgirl, and I was just like, hell yeah. And so ever since that moment, my outlook on who I am outdoors has just gotten more and more and more and more wild. And the only thing I can credit my boldness and my wildness is to that moment, and also to George, because had he went like, are you sure? You know, I
Mm.
would have felt shut down. So that is the most magical moment I have outdoors, is being fully embraced by those around me to be as wild as possible. That's it for me. Yeah.
You were stepping into a new power, a newer, bolder identity
Yes.
of yourself within the outdoors.
Yes.
And remind us again, where was the setting where you first did your first Cowgirl wild camp?
It was on a PCT trail in Southern California, I think Minker Flats. Yeah. So we were out there and the sky was just clear and the moon was just so dark, like there was barely any moonlight and you just see stars everywhere, and it was just the most magical experience.
Was this in the Mount Baldy general area? Do you even remember? Because I can't remember it to myself that there's some sections of the PCT that run through that region. I'm sure there is.
So you would park basically at uh
Was this further up from Icehouse Canyon, or do you even remember?
no, it's not in
It's not even in that
it's
area.
not in that area. It's not
Oh,
in the
okay.
Icehouse Canyon area. It's before Red Box. It's Mill Creek picnic area, like right off of Highway 2.
Oh,
Like
okay.
there's like this
Yeah, yeah.
there's this area that connects to like Mount Pacifico, um, and
Ross Mountain.
yes, so literally the PCT goes through that highway, and so you just get on it and you just hike 12 miles to, I believe it's called Minker Flats. It's far.
Yeah, it sounds.
It's far.
You said Mount Pacifico. That's deep in the Angeles
Yes.
National Forest.
So that's where I started backpacking, is deep in that side, and that's why now as I'm here, I'm in the saddle. You're gonna see me at the saddle all the time because I'm like, ooh, this is fun. Yes, it's new to me. So, but yeah, I really know that area very well. Yeah.
What a special experience that you would want to relive. And you have the documentation and the videos of it.
Yes.
All right, guess what?
Chicken butt.
No. It's time for the rapid fire question section. Pew, 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 pew.
Okay.
So the way it works, there's 2 rounds. Round 1 is outdoor focused, and then round 2 is personal. So just answer with 1-word answers or short and concise answers.
Oh, girl. Okay. Okay, we can do it. We can do it.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready, rock steady?
Sure.
She's ready. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Favorite trail snack?
Trail mix with peanut butter, peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, DJ here. What's going on?
I'm just crazy.
Trail mix with M&Ms.
Yes.
For the record.
Yes.
Trail runners or hiking boots?
Hiking boots.
Desert or deserted island?
Desert.
Waterfalls or lakes?
Lakes.
Favorite backpacking meal at the moment?
I do tuna with string cheese.
Nice. Oh, wow, that's different.
String cheese lasts.
How about a camping meal? Or is it different?
I don't really do much camping. It's the same.
You only know backpacking.
Yeah.
Dawn or dusk?
Dawn.
Rock scrambling or surfing loose scree?
Rock scrambling.
Mountain lions or grizzly bears?
Grizzly bears.
Favorite wildlife to observe?
Marmots.
Yeah, especially when you're on top of Mount Whitney or any of those alpine environments.
Marmots.
The 14ers, they're always popping out.
Yeah.
What you got?
Yeah.
Favorite type of landscape at the moment? Desert, rainforest, coastal bluff.
Mountain girly through and through. Alpine mountain girly.
Okay, the high elevation peaks, the high
Yeah.
alpine. Favorite local outdoor brand, or just any general outdoor brand that you have at the moment? A strong affinity towards.
I do love Mountain Hardwear.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get into more of their apparel and gear.
There are very solid, budget-friendly outdoor backpacking gear you can trust. Yeah.
I just love the name. I think the name is so gangster.
Yeah. Yeah. Love them.
National park you want to visit the most that you have not already?
Acadia.
Where's that again?
Maine, I believe.
Oh, the northeast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little too far out of my reach,
Yeah.
but I'll make it there one day.
Yeah, I'm from Maryland originally,
Oh, nice,
so I'd
nice.
always hear about Maine and
Yeah.
that national park,
Yeah.
but I wasn't outdoorsy when I lived in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Music artist you want to hike with?
Lil Jon.
Yeah! Oh no!
Let's go! Bam, 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 bam. Yeah.
This explains so much about you.
I love Lil Jon.
Little John and the East Side Boys.
Hell yeah.
Y'all, the fact she just said Little John is the best answer I've ever gotten to this question. There's been a lot of great answers, but I grew up on Little John. Little John in general, like
Let's fucking go.
that era, crunk
Yup.
music.
Yup.
The original, like
Oh.
rowdy music.
Yes. Yes. Lil Jon.
You're gonna be jealous. Last year, so before I was in the outdoor community, a big part of my story is I'm from the dance world.
Oh.
And I attended this Red Bull Dancer Style World Finals in the Intuit Dome near Inglewood. And the surprise, I don't even know if it was a surprise, but the headlining artist was Little John. And it was the best performance ever. I was like, we
Amazing.
were just going crazy, singing along the anthems.
Oh,
You're goated for that answer.
thank you. Thank you.
In one word, how does backpacking make you feel?
Wild.
In one word, how does hiking make you feel? It's kind of redundant.
Cutesy.
Favorite piece of outdoor gear you own right now?
My 0-degree sleeping bag.
Of course, you need the best for your
Yeah.
wild girl camping.
That's just my jam.
What's your ideal outside temperature?
Ooh, for sleeping or for the day? For hiking?
Good question. We can make it contextual. Let's say just out in the mountains, frolicking around.
All right. 72 degrees.
Okay, SoCal girly.
Yeah, 72.
All right, that concludes round one.
Okay.
We take a quick little 10, 50-second break. Usually sip my water.
Okay. I'll take a sip too.
Feel free to sip yours as well. We're nearing the end. You're doing great.
Period.
All right, round two.
All right.
You ready?
Yes.
You ready, rock steady?
Absolutely.
Let's get into it. Favorite comfort food?
Peanut butter.
Favorite cartoon show growing up?
SpongeBob.
Yes, classic, iconic. What's your hidden talent?
My hidden talent. Shit.
I feel like you might have mentioned some of it before.
I don't think I have a hidden talent.
Something that people might be surprised that you have a high skill set or talented in.
Oh, wrestling. I'll throw you down.
Damn.
I'll throw you down.
Was that like your main sport in like middle school, high school, or
High
like
school.
high school?
Yeah, I did cross country too, but yeah, I'm a wrestler. I'll throw you down.
You said boxing
Fireman.
too.
Boxing as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't mess with Mel on the
No.
outdoors. She'll wrestle with you on the ridge.
Oh shit!
Could you imagine on the devil's back when you're wrestling
I'm
someone?
gonna fireman someone up.
Oh
Yep.
shit. I took a few wrestling sessions classes in high school, and then I was a soccer player and then rugby, so stayed with that for a little bit. Favorite music genre right now?
Right now, thousands, 2000s.
Thousands.
Y2K.
What genre was that?
It's like the pop.
Pop? Okay.
Yeah, so like Britney Spears, Mariah Carey,
Yeah,
Lil
yeah, yeah.
Jon, Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide.
If you could be any animal, what would you be?
Honey Badger.
Damn.
Extremely intelligent but highly psychotic.
I was watching some honey badger content a few days ago, and they're the most badass of creatures. I saw it was fighting off mountain lions
Yeah.
because it has the thickest skin, like it's like armor.
Yeah, my friend Nick, we were literally talking about honey badgers in Sequoia. And he's like, you are extremely intelligent but highly psychotic. And I was like, absolutely.
Honey badger for the record.
Yeah.
I love it. If you could travel back in time, what period would you go to? And it also could be a period of time that you didn't live in.
Ooh.
It always opens it up,
Oh shit.
but don't overthink it.
Yeah, I think I would really love the 60s. Yeah. Yeah, I think just all that movement politically, socially. I
Ah.
would just love to be like,
Around that energy.
yeah, yeah.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Highly intelligent. No, just kidding. I like to say 3 words: bold, crazy, and goofy. Yeah.
Sounds like an outdoors person.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And here's the final question of the rapid fire question section.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Favorite sound?
Diggery-doo.
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 Please explain.
It's this instrument. It goes bong.
It's an instrument.
Yeah.
Typically used in what kind of, is it like in certain kinds of settings or music?
I think it's like, it's, I don't know. I've just, my mom, you know,
Diggery-doo.
I've always been surrounded by like those kinds of instruments. There's like the drumming. It's very, I don't know it per se if it's native. I think it might be
That's my next question.
native to Australian. I forget the name of I forget what they're called out there.
Aborigines?
Aboriginals. I believe it's Aboriginal. I could be wrong, but Azu love me a diggery-doo.
Diggery-doo for the record.
Yeah.
All right. We're at the end of the rapid fire question section. You survived.
Yes. Feels great to be alive. Thank you.
And now we're pretty much at the end of the episode, but I always turn the spotlight back to the guest. Melanie Daisy,
Yes.
do you have any final words you want to share with your friends and family, the outdoor community? The floor is yours. Take it home for us.
Okay. You know, I just want to remind everyone to just keep playing. Keep exploring, keep laughing, and just literally be as crazy as possible. Life is as serious as you make it, and the more serious you make it, the harder life is for you. I've learned that the hard way, right? So just keep playing, keep exploring, and have fun. That's what life is about, is having fun. And if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
What are you really doing?
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Like, it's not that serious. That's what I say. It's not that serious. So
Stay playful, y'all.
yep.
It's actually a very important concept to understand. We all lose that about ourselves.
Yeah.
To play, to be playful, to not take things too seriously, especially with what's going on in the world nowadays.
Yeah.
But let the people know where we can stay updated with you on social media, your website. Plug it one more time for the people.
Yes, lesventures.net for the website, and then my TikTok is les.ventures. Yeah, and then Instagram, Camp Let's Venture.
There you go, there
Yeah.
you go. Melanie Daisy, Les Ventures, Just Trek Podcast, Elevation as our recreation, and we are out, y'all. Peace.
Bye.